But music to me at least was definitely improved and way more features and way more Kanye verses, which is pretty cool.
Make sure.
And then I'm just. You mind if I don't
Yeah,
even,
go for it. If you want to talk about it, talk about it.
at the end, I'm just tell you what happened in the end because it was amazing. He ascended into heaven.
What the fuck?
Like
you didn't see the footage, Elijah?
No.
the whole like so. Also, too, the album has like 24 songs on it. So I was telling him it's like fucking, it's like feature length, bro. It's long as shit. And then and it was broken up into like 4 acts. And in the final like act, like the whole thing was like bathed in red, but it went dark. And then it was silent for like 2 minutes, which is a long ass time in between songs. I was telling Norby about it, but then like first it's like a beam of light shoots into the fucking sky, like it's like a Luxor type beam, like you could see it from the whole city, and there's smoke everywhere and all that, and you're trying to see where the fuck is this guy, and then through the smoke you see, and he literally is ascending into the fucking sky as the final song plays, and he's like, he's done miracles on me. And then it ends, and you're like, man.
You remember seeing that footage on Instagram, and I was just like, what the fuck's going on?
It's
And you see like a little speck like just hanging there.
Exactly.
It's still out there, right?
We can watch it after.
Okay,
Yeah, there's definitely footage out. I don't think you can find the whole thing though. Like, I tried looking for the whole thing.
I got a
couldn't find
link for like for it's like I would say 95% of it, and the other parts are mostly because like everyone was having streaming issues. Like I think it was just like
just so much fucking
so many
just
people.
big.
But yeah, it's even if you don't really mess with the music, it's just interesting that just happened, at least to me.
Yeah, I agree.
What's going on, film fans?
What's going on? Yeah, so we're live. What'd you guys watch this week?
Oh, I saw the new Suicide Squad movie.
Oh yeah, how'd you like it?
James Gunn.
I saw Joseph's review of it.
Yeah, I actually I genuinely liked the movie. Like I was talking to some people and they didn't like it or whatever, but they also didn't like the first one. And to be honest, I feel like they came in with that negative sentiment going in.
Yeah.
Which I totally understand. And I understand a lot of like the negative parts of the movie, and I don't think it's like James Gunn's best movie or the best DC movie ever. But I guess there's 2 metrics to base the movie on. Maybe 3. One of them is as a sequel to Suicide Squad. And on that scale,
It's like way fucking
it
better.
blows the fucking first movie out of the water. You
Best
know?
sequel ever made.
Maybe, quite possibly, you know. And then you can judge it as a James Gunn film, and that's how I was kind of going into it because I'm a fan of James Gunn. I've seen all his shit, and regardless of the controversy, I think he's a pretty cool guy.
Tight.
But not my favorite James Gunn film, but it's a James Gunn film. You know?
Yeah.
When you're a fan of a filmmaker, it's like when you see Tenet. Not my favorite Christopher Nolan film, but damn, I'm watching Christopher Nolan make a film.
Yeah.
And then as a DC film, it's interesting because it really does feel like DC's Guardians of the Galaxy. And like I don't know if you guys know, I could get really into it, but there's like a whole bunch of shit about the first Suicide Squad, and in correlation with like the Guardians of the Galaxy and MCU and all this shit. And essentially, long story short, Guardians of the Galaxy came out and it was a big hit. And then DC's like, oh shit, we need our own Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. But the thing is, they're like, oh, Suicide Squad, that can be ours, you know, a group of unknown misfits, you know, and all this shit. But the thing is, the movie had already been fucking shot and edited. It's done. The movie was done. But they kept on releasing trailers. And that's one thing you got to see, not just about DC, but Warner Brothers at large. Like, if you pay attention to like the studios in their trailers, I'd say besides A24, Warner Brothers has the most consistent trailers of like, they really know how to turn shit or put a golden sheen over shit. You know what I mean? Those Suicide Squad trailers are still like genuinely like, wow, it got me really hyped for the movie.
Yeah.
But what they did is that they essentially they saw that the trailers were so popular that they fired the editor and they hired the trailer house to edit the fucking movie.
What the fuck?
Yikes! Oh fuck!
And that's why the movie is also is filled with like essentially all the shit that like Warner Media like just owns at large. So but like Bohemian Rhapsody and you got Eminem songs and all the shit is in the movie, and it does not work at all.
Does it feel like a trailer?
I
haven't seen
the first Suicide Squad
2016.
I remember seeing the trailer because like I already really liked the Queen. I remember hearing the Bohemian Rhapsody song and I was like, oh, this looks like shit.
Now imagine that for like 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Yikes! Yeah, imagine, dude. I can't. They really got people who do edit trailers to edit the movie. That's a fucking
But-
disaster.
The story gets more interesting though, because essentially they were trying to make a James Gunn film, without him, because he's off doing the. And I don't know if you know this too, the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, because typically in the MCU and all that shit, like the solo movies, like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, they usually make probably about like half to a third of what like the Avengers films make. But the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are making Avengers type numbers. Then all the controversy happens. Marvel fires James Gunn. And he's kind of gets like canceled and shit, but then he proposes an idea to DC, like, instead of trying to like copy my style, why don't I just make a fucking movie for you, and when I watch the movie, that's what it feels like. It feels like the best of both worlds. Like DC got what they wanted, and we got another James Gunn movie. But I don't know if you guys will see the movie or not, but at least like screenplay wise, it's interesting how the story is structured. Specifically in the transitions, but to be honest too, at the same time, all that history stuff, it feels, at least for me, knowing that, I could kind of feel that like this feels like maybe you need another draft, at least of the jokes, or like some of the stuff. Like I feel like the beats are really strong, and certain things like it makes you feel what you're supposed to feel, but it just feels like it needs to be blended a little bit better. And so that's what I mean by like, it feels like this guy got fired and wrote the script, and DC was just hungry for anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they bought it without really giving too much notes. But it's interesting too. I know you guys don't watch all the superhero movies, but I do, and it's interesting now that like post Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame on all this shit, Marvel's kind of up in the air. They're doing all these TV shows and TV shows. And post Justice League and the Snyder Cut and all that, DC's a little bit up in the air too. Like, oh, it looks like they're not really doing this connected universe thing. Because I don't know if you saw the trailer for like Suicide Squad, but also this new Batman movie. And Robert Pattinson's Batman does not belong in James Gunn's Suicide Squad,
Gotcha, yeah.
But they're technically connected, but not really. And so it's kind of interesting. Like, oh, you can actually kind of do what you want if you make a DC film. And that's why, for me, at least moving forward in this next phase or whatever it is, I don't want to say I'm optimistic, but I feel like there's potential. And knowing Warner Brothers and DC, they'll probably mess it up somehow. But there's potential for them to reach greatness in a way that I don't think Marvel's going to have to do a whole lot more work to do post losing Iron Man, Captain America, and all that.
The Robert Pattinson Batman looks pretty gritty.
Yeah, it's pretty gritty. You got a Nirvana song in the trailer. I
Real
mean,
dark.
I really like the writer-director though, Matt Reeves. He's a cool guy. He did the last two of the new Planet of the Apes trilogy.
Oh, okay.
His first feature was Cloverfield, and
Wow.
he also did the remake of Let the Right One In, Let Me In.
Oh, nice.
With Chloe Grace Moretz. But then the cinematographer, he's really cool too. He's doing the new Dune movie. I don't know if you saw Joseph's post on that. Shout out to Joseph.
Yeah, I did.
Greg Fraser, he's a cool guy, and so, but yeah, sorry, I just did a long spew, but Suicide Squad was cool.
What's your favorite James Gunn movie?
Probably Super.
Oh, the Rainn Wilson
He
one?
made Super?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That Super's pretty fucking cool.
Either Super or the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen Slither?
Yeah, I love Slither
Slither's
too.
fun.
And I guess that's another cool thing about James Gunn, is that like he makes like the biggest fucking movies ever now, but like he's a pretty loyal guy. Like his brother is in all of his films. Nathan Fillion, who is the star of Slither, is in all of his films. He's in the new Guardian of Suicide Squad. He's got his wife in there, and so it's a whole family affair, which is kind of cool to see, at least having your friends there. Like he always has what's the guy's name? The blue guy from Guardians of the Galaxy, Michael Rooker.
Oh yeah.
He's in all of his movies too.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's cool.
So he's got friends, and he brings them along with him.
Okay.
What else did I see?
Did you see anything, Elijah?
I watched Blue Valentine. Have you seen Blue Valentine?
Isn't that a horror movie?
No.
I think something else then.
You thinking of
It's-
My Bloody Valentine?
I like My Bloody Valentine.
I remember you
Blue
talking
Valentine?
about that. I haven't seen it, but I remember like the 2009 one or whenever that one came out. The trailer for that scared the shit out of me, but also like the Rob Zombie Halloween trailer scared the shit out of me too.
Yeah.
I remember the Rob Zombie Halloween trailer. The 2009 My Bloody Valentine's pretty cool.
I remember seeing it in Blockbuster a lot.
Have you seen like the old one from the 70s or 80s or
No,
whatever?
no. The violence in the 2009 one's really intense. That's when they were going through all the like making remakes of all the slasher movies from the like late 70s, 80s. I think Friday the 13th came out one that year, Nightmare on Elm Street. My Bloody Valentine seemed like one of the better ones though.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of funny too.
Have you seen The Hills Have Eyes?
Of course.
I like
I love The
Me
Hills
too.
Have Eyes.
I really like that movie.
Every time I go on a road trip, I think of that.
The Wes
movie.
Craven one or the remake?
The remake.
I like the remake.
Yeah, I like the remake too. I haven't seen the original. I've
really?
only seen the remake. Yeah.
Wes Craven's a cool guy too. He actually is kind of like the master of horror. Like he was able to like reinvent himself for like 30 years. Like starting out with The Hills Have Eyes, then Nightmare on Elm Street, then Scream.
Well,
You're like, dang,
he started out with The Last House on the Left.
damn.
The Last House on the Left is inspired by like an Ingmar Bergman movie,
Wow.
The Virgin Spring.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
1960. Check out The Virgin Spring. It won the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film in like 1960, and it's actually like Ingmar Bergman movies are kind of dark, but it's on the
Wasn't that your
darker
first
side.
Ingmar Bergman film?
I think so. I think it was my first Ingmar Bergman movie. I have it on DVD, and there's like a little introduction from Ang Lee on there too, talking
Oh, really?
about yeah.
That's, of all the filmmakers,
You know, it's
too.
really, and then like Last House on the Left comes out in like 1972. I haven't seen the Wes Craven version, unfortunately, but they made a remake of Last House on the Left in 2009,
Oh yeah.
and that it's pretty gritty. You know, it's not too bad for like.
Oh
one
yeah,
of those
Jennifer
horror
Lawrence
movies.
is in it before she was like huge.
What the
right?
hell? Really?
There's the guy from Breaking Bad. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah, there's
Jesse Pinkman.
He's in
what
there.
The fuck?
Yeah.
It's actually crazy that like the people that are in this movie, it's like all of them right before they got big.
Wow.
It's kind of like what's the one Joss Whedon movie?
Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, like we have like Thor before he's Thor.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
no one
yeah.
really knows what to do with him.
Last House on the Left's cool, and then a cool thing just about Last House on the Left is it was produced by Sean S. Cunningham, and he directed Friday the 13th.
Oh, the remakes.
No,
Or
the original.
Oh shit.
So it's cool how it all connected
Yeah.
back then. It kind of makes you think of like now with like A24, just like what you're saying too, like with James Gunn and like there's kind of like a network
There's
family
a synergy. you
Yeah. Last House on the Left's like a good grindhouse movie though, from what I've heard. It had like an X rating when it came out. Need to check that one out. And then he went on to do like Last House or Hills Have Eyes.
Hills Have Eyes.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Scream.
Um,
Apparently, I don't know if you ever see what the fuck is it called?
What's it about?
It's called The People Under the Stairs.
I've heard of that one. They used to play that one on AMC a lot during Halloween.
It's a strange movie. I gotta watch it again, but like, it really confused me, to be honest. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like the way I remember it. It's kind of like Us, but different. I don't know if you the Jordan Peele movie.
Yeah,
Us.
yeah.
Oh, not Us.
I thought you meant like us for a second.
But what was I gonna
Isn't
say?
it kind of funny too?
Yeah, it's goofy.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Yeah.
goofy. Because I mean, just from the premise, people under the stairs. You know.
Yeah.
What have you seen, Norby?
I saw a movie called Pump Up the Volume. You heard that? It's fucking. It stars
cool
Christian.
title.
It stars Christian Slater. It was a movie made in 1990, and you could really like like movies made in the early 90s when they still feel like 80s movies, but like Nirvana hasn't kicked off yet, so it's not gritty yet.
Yeah.
It's like one of those movies, but it's like they still have the ideas of the 90s. It's really cool. But it's really about this high school student who owns like a radio like set, and he just like talks into the radio, and like everybody at the school like fucking loves hearing it, but they have no idea who he is. It was an interesting movie. It was cool. The first act was really good. I also saw I saw something else. I remember if I remember I'll talk about it. But that's the most recent one I saw. I saw 12 Angry Men.
Oh,
For the first time?
For the first time, yeah.
Oh shit!
Fucking cool movie.
Really cool movie.
Really cool. Yeah, dude.
One
Great-
location.
Great performances.
Genius blocking.
Blocking the shots, like all of it was just like
That was like Sidney
So
Lumet's
fucking
first
good.
movie too, right?
I don't.
One of his
It's
first.
one of his earlier ones.
Came out
yeah.
in like the late 50s.
I still want to read his book on. It's called On Filmmaking.
Yeah.
Right.
I
think
haven't.
that's the name of the title. I
That's
don't-
pretty cool though.
But people say it's like like the blink of an eye in terms of like
Yeah.
the quintessential like books to read.
He has like a quote about lenses where like each lens tells a different story.
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like self-explanatory, but it's pretty cool. I've seen Network.
Oh, dude,
Network's one of my favorites.
Network's pretty cool.
It looks really cool.
Network's like really. It spans across time. Spans across time. Like it's relatable today.
Yeah.
You know?
No. It feels like it only gets more relevant. As
That's the
time
one
continues.
with the scene where it's like I'm mad as hell and whatever
yeah.
the fuck.
I'm not gonna take it anymore.
And I'm not gonna take it anymore.
But
I need to see that.
It's a genuinely great film.
He did Serpico.
Great.
That would be a great double feature with the Social Network. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, Serpico.
He has this one in the Criterion Collection called Failsafe. I don't know what it's about though. I remember looking at his filmography and it was kind of like, it seemed like the 70s was when he was like kind of seemed to be at like his commercial peak. And then I don't really remember seeing much from the 80s and 90s.
Like most filmmakers of the 70s, yeah.
And then his last movie's called Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it. The movie's, I remember getting the movie when I was like in middle school or something. And I don't know if it's really a spoiler, but the first scene is just like a sex scene between Philip Seymour Hoffman and Marissa Tomei.
Great.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
That's great.
It was really interesting.
When did it come out?
Mid 2000s, like 2006 or something.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be pretty good from what I've heard.
Cool.
Oh, we watched The Green Knight.
Yeah,
all of us watched The Green Knight.
Yeah.
Oh, and we watched Anthony and I watched Pig.
Oh, you guys saw Pig? How was it?
I like Pig, but
like
similar
Pig.
to The Green Knight, I just got way too fucking high.
Oh,
So
okay.
like, I told Norby this, but like, whatever I say, I feel like I need to watch both films again before I can say more. But then I said that and said a whole bunch of shit.
No, yeah, you still had a lot to say.
Is Pig Mandy-esque?
No.
No.
See, okay, so I went into the movie.
Should we not say anything? I feel like
Okay, yeah.
kind of ruins it
Okay.
because you have one
Okay.
idea of what Pig's gonna be, and it's not. It's really not. It's
At
kinda
least for me,
interesting.
like if I was listening to this and I hadn't seen Pig, I needed to know that though. Like it's
Yeah.
not Mandy, everybody.
Okay.
If you want to
Alright.
see Mandy, go watch Mandy.
Okay.
Like,
It's not Mandy at all. Like,
Did you guys see Old yet?
no, I'm waiting for you because I know you
My,
have an itch for it.
my
Yeah.
dad saw it like a week ago, and he said he fucking hated it.
Everyone says that, and everyone's seeing this fucking movie. So
Yeah.
Did Joseph like it?
he said it's not his worst, which it obviously can't be. you
Yeah,
know,
the last.
but definitely not his best. So
Okay.
um,
M. Night Shyamalan. Whenever something comes out, you gotta check
But
it
the
out.
thing is, like, besides After Earth, you never see something that's like completely flaccid from him. Like where you'll see, like,
It's a great fucking word.
like
Flaccid.
you'll watch the
never
movie
heard
and
the
like
word
even if
used
it's
like
dog
that.
shit, you're like, it's still like, wow,
It's
I
like,
can't
yeah,
believe
yeah.
you thought of this.
Yeah.
Like it's not good, but like, wow.
It's not good.
It's not flaccid. That's great. I need to use that word more like that.
I guess last thing I'd like to say, I've been watching the FX original series Dave, which
Oh
viewer,
yeah, you were
li-
talking to us about this.
listeners, if you don't know, there's a white rapper out there by the name of Lil Dicky, and it's about him, or follows a fictionalized version of himself. But it's actually, I thought it was just gonna be like a fucking like white version of Atlanta, but it's actually its own thing, and it's actually genuinely like a well written show, written by Lil Dicky. Yeah, season 2 is almost done. I think the last episode of season 2 comes out Wednesday. But
Wednesday.
I don't know if you guys know who Rick Rubin is. He's like a legend in like the producer world. He worked with the Beastie Boys when they first started.
Yeah.
He worked with Slipknot. He worked with Kanye and Yeezus. He worked with Jay-Z on like the Black Album and shit like that. And so like he's been a legend. But I'm just saying that just because the last episode was about him, and it's just cool. They get a lot of. It's just a pretty relevant show if you're into like the hip hop scene and shit like that. But it's also just well written, like great structure to the episodes.
Good.
Good. But yeah, I'm not a TV guy, but hey, I found a TV show I like.
Fuck yeah. Finding good TV shows is.
Yeah, when you find
Pretty
it, it feels like honestly it honestly does feel more rewarding
almost
than
like-
finding a good film when you find a good TV show.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
it
almost
feels
like you
more-
don't need friends. When you find a good show, it's like I don't feel lonely.
Yeah, because
You're friends with the characters.
Yeah,
that reminds me too. I didn't watch the whole thing, but Deja was watching because I don't know if you saw like there's like the Friends reunion thing on HBO Max.
I heard about that.
But I'd seen like 75% of it, like a good portion of it, and they talk about that.
Gotcha.
But like, it's a strange like thing because like half of it is like an interview with like James Corden and them, which of all the people to get to interview, that's the goofiest one to pick. And then half of it is like they rebuilt the set and it's just the cast talking about it. And then half of it is like interviews with like random people or famous people talking about Friends. But yeah, TV has that power, I think, more than film to make you to not necessarily like transport you to another world, but like give you something to like look forward to.
Engross you.
Yeah. I don't know the right way to say it, but yeah.
It's like a dopamine hit when it's like you go home and it's like time to watch.
Yes,
time to watch
exactly.
Could you pass me the water bottle? Is that one mine? I'm pretty sure. Okay,
cool. Actually, is it alright if I grab a glass?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Sorry, I should bring my own water.
No, you're all good. You know where it's at? Yeah, you should know where it's at.
I feel like I heard something hinting at a Seinfeld reunion.
Oh yeah,
of some sorts. That'd be cool.
Did you watch? I didn't.
The
really
closest
watch
thing I've seen to it was in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm.
No, in Curb Your Enthusiasm they have a Seinfeld reunion.
Really?
In the show.
Okay.
But it like goes like completely like wrong, but in a hilarious way.
Yeah, my dad was a big Seinfeld fan, and I don't know if I've seen the entire show because I've really only watched it when it's on TV. But we'd watch it a lot on TV, you know?
Yeah.
I remember like when I was in middle school, it was on from like 6 until 8 on TBS. So you're watching 4 fucking episodes and you're doing this every night, you know? If like we watched a lot of hockey, if there was an intermission in the hockey game, we'd turn on Seinfeld. Sometimes like the hockey game would be boring, so it's like turn on Seinfeld. Yeah. Seinfeld, like, it really makes me laugh too. As many times as I've seen some of the episodes, the shit is funny. Have you seen a Seinfeld?
I don't think I've ever seen an entire episode. No.
Really? Oh, really good writing. The episodes are all structured too, like really well. They take stuff from, they tie in the beginning and the end very well.
Send me like, actually, I'll just sit down and watch it.
There's one probably like one of the most iconic episodes. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, don't spoil it because I literally don't know anything.
It's just about the way it's structured that's really cool though.
Gotcha.
I'll
watch it then. I'll watch a little bit of it.
Oh, I want to tell you so bad.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a spoiler because you figure it out right away.
Oh, okay.
It's like an irreversible episode.
Oh.
So it's told
in reverse.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And it's just it's so good.
Pretty experimental for
for a TV show, yeah. So check that episode out. Maybe watch like 5 episodes or so and then check that one out and
talking about Seinfeld?
Yeah, have you seen the reverse episode? That episode's amazing. I know each character has like a really like
water
unique plot line.
Water on Mars said, "Set up looking real next level, my guy. Thank you. Nobody sneaking up on anybody in there." No, nope. Yeah, nope. I got eyes on all the doors.
We even got a dog cam. You just don't even know about it yet.
Yeah. Every angle covered.
Full coverage.
Normally I don't have the dog cam up on the Screen Tongue episodes, but fuck it.
I'll
just leave the dog cam open on this one. But nice. You guys want to get into Under the Silver Lake?
Oh, I saw Punch Drunk Love.
Oh yeah, you told us about that.
Yeah, I was talking with Anthony about that. I don't think I appreciated it as much the first time I saw it. But that movie's really great.
That's the one Paul Thomas Anderson movie that like, I mean, all of his movies are kind of like that where you watch it and you like it more. But that's the one where it's just that I didn't appreciate it as much. Like the first time you watch Boogie Nights or There Will Be Blood or like The Master or Phantom Thread, it's like, wow, this is amazing, you know? Like every time you're like, how did he just get to this level? Punch Drunk Love is the first one you're like, I just don't know about it yet. And then you watch it again and again, and you're like, oh wow, no, this is actually like, this is the exactly like
standing up.
This is how this movie was supposed to be made. You know?
Yes,
that's how it feels to me.
Like, and just in his filmography, he made Hard 8, which is like his debut. But then Boogie Nights and Magnolia are basically epics.
Yeah.
And then
I need to see those still, dude.
They're both like,
we need to do a Paul Thomas Anderson episode.
That'd be great. Yeah. I would
definitely
totally do that.
See, after seeing Punch Drunk Love too, it makes me like. It's hard to pick which one I would choose, for the episode.
I already have it locked and loaded. I could say a whole thing about all of those.
But Punch Drunk Love, like, because he made Magnolia, and Magnolia is 3 hours, and then he basically said, like, the next movie I make, I want it to be like an hour and a half, and that's what Punch Drunk Love is.
Yeah.
And basically, he describes it, and it's what it is. It's an art house Adam Sandler movie, or an Adam Sandler art house.
It genuinely is. That wait, have you seen Punch Drunk Love?
Okay. I want to see it.
Well,
I almost like Adam Sandler's performance.
Sorry,
no, you're good.
Punch Drunk Love more than Uncut Gems. They're very different.
Yeah,
but
I feel like his performance in Punch Drunk Love is a lot more surprising than the Uncut Gems one. Like in the Uncut Gems one, like you could see what the Safdie brothers saw in him when he brings the character to life. Well, when you see what he does in Punch Drunk Love, or like with Paul Thomas Anderson's like material, it's just so much more, at least to me, surprising. Like in terms of like a more left field.
Yes, there's. I was watching some of the special features.
This guy asked if we're film majors. Yeah, not Elijah. You're a film minor, right?
Yeah, I get to take a few classes.
He's a film minor.
Don't do that.
don't
minor in film. Major in film.
If you want to do it.
Anyways,
it's never too late.
Yeah. I'm taking the acting class.
That'll be
figuring
cool as
things
fuck.
out. I'm also taking another class with Clarence because I had a.
Are you really?
I had
what
a
class.
So there's like a gen ed multicultural class I had to take.
Oh, no fucking way.
And I was scrolling through it, and like a lot of the shit, like
he's teaching a multicultural class.
Bro,
it's black performance.
Oh, okay.
That'll be really cool.
That's so interesting.
For viewers who don't know, Clarence Gilliard is a professor here at UNLV. He teaches acting, and he acted in
Top Gun,
Die Hard, and some other ones. Those are the main two, but he was in Top Gun and Die Hard. He teaches acting here. We're taking one of his acting classes.
I got one of the stars of Top Gun and Die Hard in my fucking contacts. That's crazy. It's cool. That's crazy to say. And like in terms of like a film program, whatever you want to say about our school, to have something like that, is at least cool on paper.
We got Charles Burmeister though. He made a great movie. I forget what he's called.
He made the movie with Clint Eastwood's kid.
Oh yeah, and Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer, yeah.
Damn. What was the thing about? With Punch Drunk Love, there's a really cool. We need to watch it. There's like a 25-minute interview with the composer, and the music in that, the way they use sound in that movie is, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say just in all of the stuff, like it feels like formally, like in terms of film form. It feels like Paul Thomason kind of like pushing his limits. Like, yeah, this is his fourth feature and coming off of Boogie Nights and Magnolia, where it seems like in that style of filmmaking kind of executed to the highest level. But when you watch the movie, it seems like he genuinely like challenged himself. Like, yeah, he made a 90-minute movie after making a 3-hour and 12-minute movie. The funny thing is that the movie it feels dense, like a 3-hour and 12-minute script into 90 minutes. But not feeling like overbearing. But the best way I can describe Punch Drunk Love, and forgive me in advance, but when you look at the history of Kanye West's discography, after his first 3 albums, which like everyone says are classics, he makes this one called 808s and Heartbreak, which is like his like auto-tune album and all that shit. And auto-tune is still kind of whatever. But after that, he goes on to make kind of have a second wind in this kind of new sound. But that's how I.
Thanks for the follow, Water on Mars. Sorry, he said I'm gonna go get tacos, but I'm tossing a follow for multi-cam creativity. Fuck yeah, dude.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We'll be streaming. We stream like every Saturday, and like the screen tongue one, the film one is like every other Sunday, sometimes Monday. But yeah, have a good one. Get some good tacos, man.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
But essentially, I feel like you can't get There Will Be Blood or The Master or any of the stuff after Punch Drunk Love without Punch Drunk Love, because like also too, he goes from writing stories that involve a lot of characters or like just a lot of like like intertwining plots to singularly focusing on one character and one plot, and you see kind of him like finding the footing for that, but not even just that. I guess what I mean like by the film form too, like finding not a new language, but a more developed language. Like he still has the long takes and the steady cam shit and all that in Punch Drunk Love, but like he also does, like you're saying, all the shit with the sound, but also all the stuff with like the colors and the color interludes.
Oh, the lens flares.
Yeah, and also, he's been a fan of anamorphic lenses, but in that movie they kind of push it to the nth degree, you know. And it's cool too because, you know, he's one of those like film people, like shoots on film, and so to know that it's not like done digitally or whatever is kind of cool. But you see that, and then you see he takes like it takes him 5 years until his next film comes out, and it feels it. Paul Thomas Anderson's career is so interesting because I genuinely believe like you can see him maturing through his films, and Punch Drunk Love.
I remember we were talking about that.
Feels like the diving board into him becoming like an actual like one of the greatest one of the greatest filmmakers working right now. Like
it's really fucking cool.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I guess I gotta stop saying sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, stop saying sorry. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's
Punch Drunk Love is really awesome. There's
I love the Popeye song too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen the Robert Altman Popeye film.
Well, I was just
dude, that movie's. I remember it being badass as a kid.
And it just blew my mind too. That's Robin Williams. I keep on forgetting it's Robin Williams.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
he plays
shit.
Popeye. Yeah.
Okay. And then it's fucking. Oh, what's the name of
the Shining lady?
Shelley Duvall.
Yeah.
She's olive oil.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I was gonna say too, like Robert Altman had like a huge influence on
PTA.
Yeah, and you can
see it
with the sound, just like the characters. Magnolia is kind of like shortcuts, you know. It's really cool. There's a part where the composer in the interview says like he was sitting down with like showing another director the movie or someone, a producer, something like that, and they say the movie's good, but there's something that just kind of doesn't like feel there's something a little off about it. And Paul Thomas Anderson's like, yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Man.
And you can kind of feel that with Punch Drunk Love. It's a good type of quirkiness.
He's a fucking genius.
I want to watch it now.
Don't worry, the PTA episode will come.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
Get caught up.
You've seen Boogie Nights?
I've seen Boogie Nights and Heart 8.
Heart 8. Okay.
Dang.
Okay.
Heart 8 was fun.
You got fun ahead of you.
Yeah.
You got even more fun ahead of you if you like those ones.
Yeah, they're both fucking. Boogie Nights was so fucking cool.
Just wait.
Boogie Nights is awesome.
Boogie Nights is so cool. I want to watch it again.
The only one I haven't seen is Inherent Vice.
I remember when that came out.
That one feels like the feeling you get from Punch Drunk Love in terms of I didn't really appreciate this at first.
Oh, okay.
But like squared. I don't even
squared.
Okay.
Because like that's what I mean too in terms of like a lot of the stuff that like he tackles or like film form he kind of explores like camera and sound wise. It feels like I don't know. Maybe I'm just blowing smoke up his ass, but like it just Inherent Vice is kind of like that, where like it's you're not used to it, especially coming off of The Master and There Will Be Blood, which aren't really even like palatable to like a large audience in general. But if you like that and you go into Inherent Vice, you still get thrown for a loop. But then you watch it again and again, or I've seen it probably 4 times now.
Inherent Vice?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite filmmakers. I've seen all his films a lot of times, but it's you got to see it so we can talk more about it.
Yeah,
definitely.
And he's making a new movie with Bradley Cooper, right?
Yeah,
wow. and Benny Safdie.
And yeah, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's son is supposed to be the lead, though.
Oh shit!
Wow.
It's set in the 70s. It's a high school movie.
Oh fucking yeah, cool. All right, cool. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about? You guys want to dig in, or anything else you guys want to talk about?
Nah, I'm cool on the recently.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much lately, but
so under the silver lake.
Anthony,
start us off. You have the floor.
Well, I guess for the audience listening, I'll just kind of give a little bit of an introduction that I've already kind of given you guys. I actually gave some misinformation. I apologize. But essentially, because I saw this movie in 2019, but right when it came out, just because at the time, you know.
You saw it in theaters?
No. It didn't have a theatrical release.
Shit.
That's
like, right. Yeah.
It was like it was literally just buried. Like you could just get it on Amazon Prime or like from I don't know wherever DVD. And not like super buried, but you know, not having a theatrical release, especially for something not as high profile as like a Suicide Squad thing, but in A24, you know, you get a theatrical release and all that shit. But essentially, I saw this movie in 2019, but it had premiered at Cannes in 2018. But he had been working on this movie. His previous movie came out 4 years before that, in 2014. It Follows. But essentially, I don't know. Recently, I just been like getting really paranoid's not the right word, to be honest. It's more just like, you know, sometimes when I feel like you can do this with almost anything where you think really hard about something until like you permeate like the first layer of like seeing it as whatever it is, an object or an idea or like, you know, a feeling. And then you start to, and then it's like the 6 degrees type of thing where you got to see where things kind of connect or overlap, intertwine. And then it made me think of this movie and like, damn, I want to watch that movie again. Also, I recently got the It Follows DVD just because, and so I rewatched that and then I just had an itch to watch this again. And I feel like that's the perfect way to describe this movie too, as the feeling is like it's an itch. The movie, when you watch it, it's like you're seeing someone who has like this constant itch until you start to get the itch too, because like, I don't know about you guys, but at a certain point, like the idea is that it starts to present, you kind of buy into it. And you're like, oh shit, that makes sense. That actually does make sense. And then afterwards, we watched the movie and we did just a tiny bit of research. Like, oh shit, some of this is actually real. The hobo code is real. I didn't know.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Hobo code was cool. One of the best.
And then
the coolest parts.
I think also too, I just thought it would be a fun film to talk about because it's not even just that like it's fun like to like think of on like an ideas or a theoretical level, but like film form wise, I feel like the movie's almost 2.5 hours long, but I think it just it does a lot of different shit like with the camera and like I was saying, just like film form wise, all the aspects feel like it just feels it. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, in terms of like every aspect of like the production seems dense.
Yeah,
like the writing was dense. Like definitely like some of the research. I mean, just like the location,
production design.
The location. There's so many locations too, like so many locations.
The movie must have been expensive as shit.
Yeah, easily. They had a drone.
Yeah,
they had a drone. I like how that one drone part where it's like zooming into the lady. It's like, I mean, like it's not a. I mean, it's like it's kind of like a drone shot, but it's like they're zooming in so much. Like,
yeah.
I thought that part was funny.
I heard like a theory on that scene, kind of, or just like how it relates to like.
Oh, what's that?
It's the video that I watched said it was like about the kind of like a reflection of like the treatment of women in Hollywood.
Interesting. Well, that's what I feel like the film overall is about. Like,
that's your big takeaway from it.
One of.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's fair. There's a lot to take.
I think that like the women in Hollywood kind of thing is the thing that kind of like. I feel like sometimes I do strange analogies, but that's the only way I know how to describe things. But I don't know if you guys have ever like tried to swim a long distance, but if you try to use your arms a lot, you get really fucking tired quick. And so you learn quickly that you have to use your feet as like that motor, and then your arms are kind of like the boost to keep you going, and you got to find that rhythm. And to me, the treatment of women in Hollywood type of thing is like that flutter kick that keeps you going, but then like the strokes are like all of like the hobo code and like the fucking conspiracy theories and just like the media shit. But throughout it, like even just like the actual like plot of trying to find one girl out of just like so many, you know, because that I think it's interesting. And also in that one part with the drone thing too, it's the movie's it's very funny. Like it's
funny
it's
movie.
it's a very funny movie.
It's a black comedy.
I was laughing for sure.
Yeah, you were laughing out loud, which is cool.
Yeah.
I was glad you were enjoying it. But I just like that, like she sits down and they're like, oh yeah, and she just starts crying.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah. Yeah. But they're like, fuck. Oh,
but then
shit.
like Andrew Garfield like walks like, I got to go home, and then like it's just, that's what I mean by funny too. Like that's just a funny premise, but then it cuts to this wide of Andrew Garfield walking out of the shot, and it just and you see Topher Grace like embarrassed that like he wanted to show his friend something cool, but he's like, damn, like he probably thinks I'm a weirdo now.
Yeah.
Interesting cast too. The fact that you have Topher Grace and Andrew Garfield, and it feels like something not completely on purpose, but like there is some sort of meta commentary like done on purpose in terms of like having Spider-Man in the thing, like, you know, he grabs the Spider-Man comic book and all that, and he's friends with Topher Grace, you know, Venom. I'll pass the torch to you guys. What did you guys think of it?
I mean, sorry. Elijah, do you want to say something?
Yeah,
I can dig in real hard.
It's probably like one of the densest movies we've seen on the for the podcast. Really, like,
it's up there, definitely up there.
It's a puzzle, but like you said earlier, you don't have to. There's no way to, like, on a first watch to really put all the pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
But the overall like plot and the characters and just like the whole kind of reminiscence of old Hollywood movies, it makes the movie really, really enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
What about you?
I was gonna say, if you guys really like this movie, go to Omega Mart really high, because that's what this movie feels like. Like the part where Andrew Garfield's like coming out from the tunnels, like in a convenience store. That's what Omega Mart's like. But I also just liked I like the main character a lot. Like I like how he's just like, he's kind of a bum. Like he's just like this, like he's literally just like a bum. But he hates hobos. It's like he's getting evicted.
It's hilarious because he's a bum, but like an LA bum, so he still lives in a nice ass apartment and all this shit. And
he drives a fucking Mustang.
Yeah,
like what the fuck? I was not expecting. Mustang. It's like he's a hipster, but he drives a Mustang.
He doesn't have a job.
Yeah, no job.
He just like stares at people with his binoculars.
I tried to pay attention because I guess they don't explicitly say it, but I always thought that he was a private investigator. Like that was his kind of like job, and he kind of lived gig to gig.
Interesting.
I don't know if they ever said anything, but that's why I felt like it leaned itself more to, like, at least for me, being the reason, because like he just seemed to be naturally inclined to like know what to do to investigate shit.
Yeah.
Where if it was
like
me,
everything.
like I just like look on Reddit or something and probably go to sleep. But
he was never on like the internet.
Yeah.
At all. He just like literally just like pieced it together, and it worked for him.
I guess maybe too it might be like what Elijah was saying about like a reference to like old Hollywood films and shit like that. It's just like
it just happens to work out.
An analog aesthetic overall, like not the internet. He goes house to house and tries to track people down, which is interesting.
There's something goofy about him though, you know.
What do you mean?
He doesn't have like the suaveness
like
of
the
a
Humphrey
detective.
Bogart charm.
No,
it's just the way he ran. The way he ran was just like super.
Yeah,
normal.
the way he ran was
like
super
an actual
funny.
Person.
Yeah,
like he runs like how Mikey runs. It's really funny. Not quite that bad, but like.
It seems like a lot of people think he's the dog killer.
I was thinking that for the first act.
He always has the biscuits.
Yeah.
And the way he talks about dogs, like, kind of reminds me of like the way maybe like a serial killer tries to like persuade someone in movies, you know? Like when he first meets like Riley Keough and her dog, she asks him if he has a dog and he's like, "Oh no, it just died or something." But he says it in a way like it's almost like if he were a serial killer trying to kill Riley Keough and she asked him like about a girlfriend or something like that, he'd be like, "Oh no, we just broke up or something." Trying to like get in there.
Yeah.
And
also like all of like those like hallucinations he would have where people would just start barking out of nowhere.
Yeah.
All females too.
Really?
Yeah. Which you can like think of too, like I don't know, dog, bitch, and I don't know.
Maybe a dog is like yeah, because then the dog is like a reference just to like women, because there's that part where he reads the comic book and it says the guy sees the video and it says this town will never be good until all the dogs are dead.
Oh
so
yeah.
maybe that's kind of like talking about like, women in Los Angeles, women in Hollywood.
Yeah. I bet you the women in Los Angeles are fucking horrible. No offense to women, but I mean they gotta be. They're all trying to, not all of them, but like the ones who are really pretty are definitely trying to be like actors, models, musicians.
Yeah, or like it's like, I don't know, just like the whole sort of like vibe of LA. It's like the city of Los Angeles, and it feels like a lot of times you go there and it's like you just have to sell your soul in some sort of way. Not even like in some sort of spiritual sense, for like your body or whatever shit, until you end up in some fucking hole.
Dude,
covered in cement.
All the female characters are like that too.
Yeah, all of them are like.
Riley Keough joins like the Jesus cult, and then the Brides of Dracula, they're like call girls.
Yeah.
They're like prostitution.
It seems like all the women he meet are like.
All the women are like
kind of
tools.
Tools are like off in some way.
Yeah.
Except for like, I guess the old lady that he ends up having sex with the birds. She seemed kind of genuine.
Maybe she's like the end result.
But see
that's what you turn into.
I imagine her like being one that like kind of just missed all the shit that would cause you to die. Like she was like around all like those people, but then like she just didn't get chosen to go into the fucking chamber, and then you just become like just kooky. But like I don't know, it's man. I don't know. I don't even know where to start with this movie.
Dude, the movie's so goofy too. It's like he's hiding behind like a beach ball. Dude, the part where he beats up the little kids.
Yeah, that part was
funny. So fucking.
He shoves
cool.
the egg in his mouth.
Yeah, like flat out just like socks some kid in the face, like some 11-year-old.
There's he kind of has like one of those detective following mysterious guy scenes, but they're like on the paddle boat.
Yeah, dude. And then the pirate too.
It's like such.
They just shows up just.
Yeah, the pirate. Yeah, like
they hand him like the briefcase, right?
Yeah.
Or
but no, every time like he shows up, it's just like so like I feel like in an old Hollywood film, it would be just like someone in a trench coat or something like ominous. But it's just a fucking pirate.
It's so weird how goofy it is. It feels almost like kind of like realistic that way. It's just like it feels realistic in how like just like off it is.
That's how LA feels to me. Like like I genuinely believe like what kind of we're saying, like there's something just weird about LA and how like the treatment of women, but at the same time, like if you see like if you think about LA, it's just a goofy place, everyone there is just like all looking weird and just doing weird shit and I don't know.
There's a certain like, and it's so lived into LA, so like just dense with people.
Yeah. We were talking about it after we watched the movie, but like it's another thing too, like LA and like New York too, like the people that are from there just like so not even decidedly different, just like inherently like they've grown up in a place that's like different than like 90% of like
the whole world. Yeah. Earth.
Which is funny too. Paul Thomas Anderson, LA born and raised, and if you ever see an interview from him, he's definitely from LA, and he's just he's different, and
it radiates from them.
The guy who made There Will Be Blood and all this shit, you're like, this is him.
Really?
Every time
kind of like
you can see it. Well, you can see it with Boogie Nights and Magnolia.
That's what I guess. Yeah, in those earlier films, like it feels.
Yeah, San Fernando Valley, but
yeah.
But then like, say like The Master's the first movie you see from Paul Thomas Anderson, you're like, this guy's from LA. What the fuck?
Is he kind of like a hipster type of person?
Nah, he's just
he cusses a lot.
We cuss a lot too.
He's like the quintessential like Gen Xer, like someone who missed the hippie generation, but it's just like, chill.
Gotcha. Gen X is interesting. But I remember I was talking to you about this after the movie or whenever we were saying like this is the one movie I've seen be successful in making hipsters look cool.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like, it's a good way to describe it.
Or I guess not even just cool, but like interesting, where like you kind of want to see like what they're doing, because like most times,
definitely interesting.
The hipster, you kind of get the gist, and this one you lean in.
Yeah. I was really trying to piece it together throughout. It was a really engaging movie.
in the Red Letter Media like review, they describe I told you guys this, but they describe David Robert Mitchell's style of filmmaking as the hipster Kubrick, which I think
that sounds about right.
Does It Follows feel like that?
No, if anything, It Follows feels like more of an homage to like John Carpenter and and that style.
Oh, I heard a piece of like the score from It Follows.
It's like really synthy.
Yeah, that was cool. And then the same guy did this.
Yeah. And it's cool
really
too
cool.
because like he's a well-versed musician.
Yeah, it's a very different style.
Yeah.
No, think about it.
Because like he's like pulling from what's the name, Bernard Herrmann and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
But he's because similar to like the Safdie brothers and the guy that used Daniel Lopatin, he does like electronic music, but he has like a different name, like 10 Tricks Point Never. But this guy has a name similar to that. It's like Disaster Piece or something like that.
It's Disaster Piece.
And so it's interesting that to pull people like that. I already got my person in mind.
It's like it's just like going from like synthy, like you said, John Carpenter-esque creepy score to like classical Hollywood mix up mash.
There's a beautiful French horn solo at the end. So I play French horn and I'm like, wow, that's actually
beautiful.
I really like that Jesus and the Brides of Dracula song.
Wait, really?
Turning Teeth.
Oh yeah. It wasn't
cool.
that bad. Yeah.
It's definitely a pop song.
I like that part where Andrew Garfield beats up Jesus.
Yeah,
and he asks,
"Bro, I'm taking a shit."
Yeah, he asks him like which songs he wrote, and he's like, "Well, these ones came from the studio," and then he says all the like ones that are like that were written by the songwriter, and then Andrew Garfield's like, all the hits, and he's like, "Come on, man."
And that feels pretty accurate though. Like that probably happened.
This movie really does feel like it could have been. I don't want to say made in like the 40s, but it's like it feels like an old story, just like totally reskinned,
direct homage to that type of stuff.
Like even just like the main character, like he goes and like beats people up. It's like he doesn't look like somebody that fights, but it's like he goes and just like punches people.
Yeah,
he kills the fucking.
It's like if you read a script from the 40s, but then like you just put it in this hipster aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they just got a script. Like, all right, let's just like rewrite the dialogue real quick,
change the name of the characters,
same plot points.
You kill the like the greatest songwriter of all time with Kurt Cobain's guitar.
Yeah, dude. Oh, dude, that's my favorite
great
scene. That felt like that was almost like
he plays all these popular songs too, and he's like basically telling Andrew Garfield like "fuck you."
To me, that part too, it felt kind of like mythological in the sense of like
it felt big.
I didn't even know
like a big moment.
Yeah,
I didn't even know like a direct correlation like in terms of like myth wise, but it feels like someone who was like gifted like the voice of the culture and able to like shift the paradigm. And then but like, you know, if someone like that actually existed, like it would just be too much like to handle it like over time. And so that's why you kind of have to like disperse it through these artists and make it seem like it happens naturally, and there's not some like divine thing going on, which I think is kind of like not really like the whole movie kind of deals with that, but not really like divine like that, but like there's something greater than what we know, like whether it is just rich people have their own secret code or whatever. What was I gonna say though? It was something little off unrelated to this part, but I was just reading trivia on it, and I guess when they go see like that one indie film, it's a recreation of David Robert Mitchell's first film, a scene from that film.
That's cool.
Which is cool. And another thing I wanted to bring up too is like what's interesting about this film and how it is like dense in references and like in a way like I compare to like Quentin Tarantino's career and like Pulp Fiction and stuff like that, where it's like a lot of these scenes are just like a kind of like a culmination of like whatever he's seen or consumed, you know?
Yeah.
But what I like about this film is it's not just the aesthetic, but it fits into the story too in terms of it being about pop culture. You know, the movie is about how culture influences us, and so to have a movie that's influenced by the culture, at least aesthetic and form wise is pretty cool. But what was I gonna say?
What do you guys feel about the whole conspiracy stuff?
I loved it.
It's cool.
I loved it. Yeah, I like conspiracy stuff a lot.
I feel like the only thing that like it doesn't blow my mind, but like it feels like it's pretty obvious in terms of the sex sell stuff. But I love that part when they do the montage showing all the stuff in correlation.
Yeah,
that was
it's good
really
to like,
interesting.
because like you hear people talk about it and they'll show you some examples, but to see a lot of examples like that and make it as obvious as possible is very revealing.
Or I guess too, in terms of like, if you think of it too like as an argument thing, in the sense of like it relating to this thing of like treatment of women in Hollywood, like the whole sex sells thing, is it like once you kind of you served your purpose, you're better off dead.
Yeah. I really did like the sex imagery stuff.
It kind of brainwashes you.
Yeah, because I feel like for a long time there are people in like, especially in like Hollywood in like the early 1900s, and people were trying to figure out like how to brainwash people, like especially in our government and like through propaganda and stuff. And I think they've definitely figured it out. I mean, like iPhones definitely brainwashing material. People are on iPhones for a ridiculous amount of time.
The way they show it to you though is kind of brainwashing, because it's kind of like and it's cool because like that's what those things are trying to do.
It reminds me of like a Soviet montage of like just showing you a plethora of images to make you like think a certain
it's
thing.
kind of like just the way too, like I feel people who like believe in conspiracies, like they talk about them where it's like, oh, there's so much of there's this or that, and it's so weird that there must be something going on. And they don't really base it on like individual scenarios, but just like a culmination of things, and that's like the basis for their belief or argument. And
do you think there's something bigger going
on? In the movie,
in real life,
I don't know.
Good answer.
I definitely. Oh, sorry. What?
That's like or we'll talk about it. Go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say I definitely believe that in like what you're saying in the 20th century, I would say a majority of like mind and manpower went into figuring out how to brainwash people.
Yeah.
But then I think there's just a tipping point, and I feel like you can point this at multiple times throughout like the past 150 years, where it's like you're just trying too hard. You realize that like humans kind of like, I don't want to say want to be brainwashed, but like
they kind of do.
But yeah,
they
like
kind of do.
Like at least they want to be told what to do in a sort of sense. I genuinely think that people kind of like if you have a good advertisement, people like that. People are like, wow, you actually sold me on something, or like it genuinely makes you want to have that product or whatever. And so I guess like what you're saying about brainwash, like I watched this movie and it makes me think about like myself, because I remember talking to you guys afterwards too about like how like I just listen to the radio a lot, and the radio mostly just plays like a lot of popular music, whatever genre or whatever. And in a sense, like it's not even the corporations or the government or some bigger thing brainwashing me. It's
right.
It's myself by choosing things that and I guess the thing is though that like there's not a way to not be brainwashed, you know?
Yeah.
I guess like brainwash has such a negative connotation, because some I guess you could also call brainwashing like learning, like in a sense, in a sense like deep. From when you have a family, you kind of get brainwashed to like do specific things. Like you go to some people's houses, they don't like shoes in the house. Some people they do, they don't mind. I mean, not that, I guess it'd be weird to say that they do, but they don't mind.
Yeah.
And that's just a small thing, but like, and so I think about myself and the things I listen to and how many movies I watch, and I'm like, damn, I have been brainwashed.
Yeah.
And it's not even a bad thing. But then you think about it too, and I guess especially in the past 10 years, the way that like the internet and an iPhone we'll do it for ourselves, you know. That's what it is. You don't need someone to dig a hole for you. You just need to give somebody the shovel if they really and they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a better analogy, but does that make sense?
I know. I get where you're coming from. I remember, because I used to think about brainwashing a lot, and it's like you're right, and I like that you brought that up, because you're right in the sense that like brainwashing does have a negative connotation, but it doesn't have to be. You know what I mean? Like school could technically be counted as brainwashing, you know, like the Pledge of Allegiance and all that bullshit, and just the shit that we learned there, and even like the way that we socialize there, it's just like there's a very specific way things are set up. And like even this movie, you know, they wrote it knowing that it would affect us a certain way mentally, you know, it could be counted as a certain way to brainwash.
Just like story structure.
Story structure. Because that's what works. It's like, that's what works with our brain. And so like, I'm sure when they were like in the early 1900s, you know, we were talking about it, they were trying to do it. But you're right. I think they were going too hard. They thought it'd be more like magic, where it's like you can like zombify people and like brainwash them.
Yeah.
They thought that was possible, but it's not. It doesn't really work like that. They found out that like just cool looking images and like story structure and stuff like that just really is what really works the most.
And
subtle stuff.
And I guess that's where like there's like this weird like I guess another intersecting line between like this sort of like propaganda control and art, because then you realize that you don't need to try so hard in like propaganda. You just make great art and it'll do it for
Pretty
you.
much, yeah.
And then that's when the movie gets interesting, because then it's like you can still make great art that's weaved in with whatever hidden messages, or if you want to think of them that way, right?
But you can't tell people that.
Exactly.
Like that's why this movie was, you know, put through the shitter and wasn't released in theaters. That's the part that freaks me out. It's like movies like this generally don't make it to theaters or do very good in theaters,
or even get made,
right? Exactly. Like on that budget, which is like, I don't even think it's just like a conspiracy thing. I think it's also just like I mean, there definitely is like some conspiracy aspects to it, but nothing like crazy. I mean, just like in a realistic sense, people don't want.
They're not actually pointing fingers at anything or anybody. They're just proposing. If anything, they're just like asking like you to ask questions, or they're asking you a question to think about, right?
Yeah. But I mean, like, imagine if this movie was like trailers everywhere, right? And it's just like you have all the people who go and watch like just Fast and Furious movies, go in droves to watch a movie like this. There would be like fucking riots. People would go crazy.
Imagine if this movie was marketed the way the Green Knight has been marketed.
Dude, it would just be insane. I can see why they shut these movies down, and they should be. I mean, it's like I feel like they should be watched more, or like, you know, they should get more attention, which is like not realistic. But I mean, it's also like if that did happen, I wonder what the consequences of that would be.
See, because that's another thing too I think about, where like, and we've talked about it before, like sometimes like you feel like there's a need, or you want more people to see or experience certain things, but at the same time, like, at least for me, like the world would kind of be a different place if like these things were the staples, you know?
Yeah. Oh, it'd be it'd be incredibly different.
I think about, I guess for some reason this movie, or I guess the aesthetic it goes for reminds me of Quentin Tarantino for some reason, because like that's what I feel like it was like when Pulp Fiction came out, where like it just feels like something that's so permeates the culture, you know? Everyone talks about it the first time they saw that movie when it came out, and but I imagine more movies like that, like this one, can have a similar, not, I wouldn't say the same effect, but like similar things were like, oh, if these movies were marketed the same way other ones were, I feel like, culture, I don't know, the culture, because like that's another interesting thing too, though, is that like even though people want to like we were saying, like be brainwashed, or like I guess it's like the cliche thing, like people don't know what they want until until it's presented to them, and I guess I don't know, I feel like we're straying away from the movie though.
I mean, we did with Transient Life though.
I feel like it's part of the conversation.
It's part of the conversation.
I feel like that one deserved it though, because I feel like there's still a whole lot more to say about the movie, when I feel like we were kind of wrung out dry on this Transient Life.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, brainwashing's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna have to. We have to learn how to brainwash effectively if we want to make movies.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why I like talking, thinking about it.
And I guess what you were saying too, Elijah, about like the movie feeling like a puzzle,
that helps. That helps and really get hooked.
And I feel like in terms of like the whole brainwashing thing, like learning how to make puzzles and shit like that.
That might be a good thing to learn how to do.
Yeah.
Like this is like a very good. What was the Snyder genre, like Why Done It? I think it's Why Done It, right? Or no,
it's kind of like
it's Who Done It, right? No.
It's one with like a surrogate.
No, it's weird. So this movie's like, this is like
You can kind of place
it's almost like Golden Fleece. Like he's going out trying to look for the girl, but it's still like a mystery movie.
he's like,
it's a mystery movie. It's a mystery movie. It's a mystery movie.
He's like looking for the girl, but kind of trying to uncover like a conspiracy along the way. But it's not like, what's the conspiracy he's trying to uncover?
Yeah.
And I listened to this one kind of like analysis about it, and they basically said like they feel the point of the movie is to not get so consumed by like, in a way, like things that don't matter, that your life turns into, you know, kind of like the guy who has like, like
so you like to turn into a Mega Mart,
like the Under the Silver Lake, the artist, where he has like all those masks and shit, and then he has all these like newspaper clippings. It's like,
it seems like he can't differentiate between what's actually important and what he's just fascinated by. It's all the same to him. So like he'll have these things of like the face masks of celebrities, but he actually does seems to have found something that's actually like true, that like conspiracy wise, but to him it's the same,
right?
Which I think is like what you're getting on in terms of, and I guess that's why the movie's so interesting, because like what we're saying, like the plot is just him trying to find this girl, but so much gets in the way of that, and most of it comes from the way he perceives the things around him.
I think another part that I like about this movie is like, you really do have to have like no life to go down this rabbit hole. You know, like you have no responsibility.
If you have a job, you can't do that.
He's
shit.
fucking walking in LA. That sounds fucking terrible.
He seems like he doesn't care though. Kind of.
No, he doesn't. No, he does not care.
He's just like so bored. He seems very bored.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay.
It's such an LA thing too, though, because it's not even like he's like alone. Like his mom like gives him routine calls. Like he like, and so like, I don't know. It seems like an LA thing where like you're just given the permission or the privilege.
That definitely feels like a piece of the
bored
puzzle. His mom calling, because the way she talks to him is very very strange, you know.
Or and she feels older than she is. Like I imagine Andrew Garfield to be his character to be in his like late 20s, maybe early 30s, but she feels like she has to be like in her 60s or 70s. Maybe that's a reasonable age, but still she feels older than she should be. Like
the way she talks is really exaggerated.
Yeah, or that she's watching silent film, like her favorite
she's watching
film
Seventh Heaven.
Is Seventh Heaven,
you know.
Oh, and also too, she says interesting things about the movie too. How like she genuinely feels connected to is it Greta Garbo? I don't know who the actress is.
Janet Gaynor.
Gaynor.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
Just like the way, I don't really know how it would tie into like a greater conspiracy within the movie, but the way she talks almost feels like in a video game, if you have to like get a call from your mom or something, and your mom,
I remember you kept
this
saying
movie
that.
feels like a video game.
Elijah kept saying
it really feels like a video game that doesn't have like,
it's just all
like a
scenes.
boss kind of
all cutscenes.
Yeah. Because Andrew Garfield too, he's kind of like, he's definitely a surrogate. Aside from like enjoying like conspiracies and stuff, his character is basically just like an animal, you know, a very lazy animal who just like eats and has sex,
right?
You know, and that's like the reason he kind of wants to find Riley Keough, I think, because like maybe he just wants to like fuck her.
He probably just does.
Know?
Yeah, he went overboard. Like, I hate to use the word simp, but I mean like, he's dude. Like, I like how he just abandons all the conspiracy and all that bullshit just to talk to the girl and just like, that's I'm going home.
It is kind of emotional, but it is funny too. Like how sad he gets knowing like she's gonna die.
I would just like, it seems like he got blue balled super hard.
Or that's what kind of leads me towards that, like the theory that he's the dog killer, because like that seems like some serial killer type shit where like maybe in his brain he thinks it's like he just wants to fuck her, but like in reality in those situations he ends up killing them or their dog or whatever shit. And that's why he gets fascinated. But also too on that part, that final scene when they are on the phone call, and kind of is what you're saying in terms of like it encapsulates that whole feeling where like she's confused why he was looking for her. Like, did I do something? Like, did I make you mad? And he's like, no. You know, he doesn't know what to say.
You're hot.
Yeah.
I like the scene where they have the drone scene where he's talking about like he feels like he is living in an alternate life. You know, and he thought he would be somebody when he grew up. I mean, especially becoming an adult. Like, becoming an adult is so fucking weird. and I can see where he's coming from. You know, it's just
I think that's what part of being an adult is, like learning,
like realizing you're just like this weird creature amongst other creatures, just like fucking doing, I don't just the weird. Sometimes you do weird shit, you know, as an adult. Just like as a kid, you don't think it's gonna be like this, or at least I didn't think it'd be like this. It's so fucking odd. Being an adult is, because now I can see not the whole picture, but you know, I can see what it's like.
Or even like the story you told us, like, and not even it's a little bit of a different like vibe, but like that, like, you know, the people that you ran into in out of like Wyatt and all them, and that. It's like, I don't know, you don't.
Sometimes life feels.
Life is
under the Silver Lake.
It's interesting, like with the coincidences you get in life sometimes.
I want to do Under the Silver Lake, but with Wyatt. Like, if Wyatt we had to find him.
We should make Wyatt act in something.
There's a fucking
Joseph and Wyatt in the short together.
Damn.
What do you guys think?
Oh, when you get a chance, look at the poster. This one video I saw. If you zoom in on the bubbles, there's like things from the movie in them.
Oh, I didn't even fucking.
So okay, like see right there. There's the pirate.
Ain't that cool?
Oops.
It's hard for me to see. To me,
it is. It's very shitty quality. I'm sorry. You got like a cross up here.
Is it in the bubbles, or is it like the space between the bubbles?
The way the bubbles are shaped. But it's like, see, there's a hat, and then the guy's like, kind of looks like Jim Morrison, right here. See, look where my thumb is. Now I'm gonna move my thumb.
Oh, cool. Deja's watching.
Kind of, but it's hard.
Okay.
Oh, what's up, though?
Check out. Hi, Deja.
Yeah.
If you're watching, Deja, thank you very much.
Check out this I just looked up like Under the Silver Lake like analysis or something. It's like a 45-minute video, but they do talk about like some interesting shit in it. And like he shows you the poster, and basically in the poster it's like you know the Playboy part where like the girl's sinking. That's like the main thing you see. But then like underneath there's trees. Andrew Garfield's face is in the trees. And then if you look at the bubbles right here, there's like little like symbols of, or like,
it's pretty good poster.
Pictures of like people from in the movie. Wow. Like there's Andrew Garfield right there.
Oh shit.
Oh dude, Rose sent me a message to the story. Nice. She said, "Oh, Under the Silver Lake, good, very good." Some shit like that.
Thanks, Rose.
Reading the script for Under the Silver Lake would.
Oh, that'd
how
be
do you
great,
write this?
Man, we should probably read that.
They talk about in the first scene. You know, right before the movie starts, there's kind of like these really quick shots of like emblems of animals.
Yeah.
And what the guy did is like he just said like take the first letter from each animal.
Damn.
And then it's like a unicorn, then like a turtle, then like a snake, and then a lion.
Utzel?
What's Utzel?
Under the Silver Lake.
Yep. And then there's this part where you know how he's in that diner and the girl's like brushing off the Beware the Dog Killer thing?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know what it really applies to the plot, but it just makes me think like if it's this layered in like just the beginning, how much more layered it is like moving forward.
It'd be fun to analyze it and get it totally figured out.
This scene, like, I don't know how you even catch it because it's like really, it's in the background. It's this guy wearing like a dark shirt, and then there's like animals on it again, and he just does the same thing where you take the first letter from like the name of each animal, and it's like BTDK.
BTDK.
Beware the Dog Killer.
Wow.
And that's just in the first scene.
That makes this movie a lot more like Omega Mart, dude.
You know?
Yeah.
And then there's that whole shit with like the Nintendo putting like the serial map over the Nintendo poster.
Right, yeah.
And the whole stuff with like the phallic imagery and like mainstream media and shit. It would be cool to do like a scene by scene analysis and try and pick up on shit like that.
With like the script on hand.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, how do you explain this movie to someone?
Like
how? No. How do you explain the concept of this movie to someone?
Like an elevator pitch?
Yeah, like if you're like David Robert Mitchell.
I'd probably say it's a modern day detective story.
All right, pitch.
So I wrote this script about this like modern day incel, and he's like satirizing like a Hollywood detective, but he's just like a fucking like loner, like kind of like not sex addict.
Do it like a log line. Try to do it like a log line.
Oh, okay. When after a mid-20s incel loses contact with an attractive girl he meets in his apartment complex, he goes on a quirky and mystical journey through 2011 Los Angeles in order to uncover a larger conspiracy.
There you go. That's decent.
That's also so interesting to me too. I also have like a weird fascination with the late 2000s and early 2010s. Like I think we're gonna be talking about that time in the future. Well, maybe I'm wrong though, but I don't know. To have it in 2011 LA is interesting to me too.
What do you think the purpose of that is?
To be honest, I just think that's when he started writing the script.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like in 2011, it's kind of this weird nexus point where like, okay, we have iPhones, but like they're not to the
But
level.
like we don't have iPhones.
Yeah,
so.
like we still have the fat charger. You know what I mean?
There's no Snapchat or
Instagram, and
yet.
you all the social media, they're still in their like birthing stage.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But at the same time, like analog is dying at that moment, and so I would say like the period of like 2008 to 2012, like I don't know, the culture was in a weird place. But what was I gonna say?
I saw like a Dostoevsky post about something like that.
Dostoevsky.
About 2008.
No, that's like idea of like, okay, you know how you said like kind of like more forms of media are starting to emerge while like the older forms are starting to die out.
Yeah.
It was something about how like there's like a constant like death and birth in society or
cycles.
Yeah, basically something like that.
Oh,
I'll try to find it.
I was gonna say though that like I don't even know if we could really. It's right to like call him an incel. Like he has incel like behavior, but like
he still gets laid.
He gets laid, but also the thing is too. In terms of like the logline thing, like I at first thought like after a serious breakup, right? Because like it seems that like that person he was with, like they were gonna get married and shit, right? Or it seems like the thing that or I don't know. I guess that's a jump, but like to me, at least in what I've seen, is that like sometimes when people are in like a super serious relationship and they jump out of it, and you see them get into another one, they go like head first into it. And then you saw his ex-girlfriend, that was their engagement party or their wedding party or
I know what you're talking about now. I get it. At first I thought you were talking about that girl at the beginning that he's like fucking with the Kurt Cobain poster. No, you're talking okay, she's like the model.
Yeah.
She's basically the model. And then it's cool too, her thing says you can see clearly.
Yeah. Or I can see clear. Or
I can see something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I like how terribly that billboard was designed. like it was hard to read
awful.
it's hard to read some of the text. It was like I'm sure they did that on purpose. It was really funny.
Okay, go back to what you were saying though about like
or like because also too it seems to have affected him deeply, like because like that's the actual real reason why he has the fucking dog biscuits, and like he's been waiting for this moment that's never gonna happen, because she's definitely moved on, and he hasn't, and that's at least to me part of the reason why he seems to be stagnant in this period of his life.
He seems to be maybe focused on things that like he probably shouldn't, like not that like you shouldn't be focused on them, but they distract him from maybe like matters of his own life that he's should probably
he's
attend.
Focused on distractions.
Yeah, he's getting evicted.
You know? Yeah, but he doesn't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
You know, he should be caring about like that, like actually getting a job, his car getting towed away, but he's just worried about like Riley Keough.
Yeah. And
a bunch of like conspiracy theories.
Yeah, going to parties.
It's really funny when she like that one girl, the Kurt Cobain girl at the beginning, she like grabs his papers. He's like, "Don't look at those."
Yeah.
And then he explains it to her, and he's like,
and he sounds like a maniac.
Not like,
or she's like, "You don't like this," or "Oh, you think I'm crazy."
Yeah.
What's the lady's name from Wheel of Fortune?
I don't know.
Dana White.
Yeah.
Dana White. And he's like, she blinks a lot.
Or yeah,
it was something.
She
like
looks
that.
left, looks right, looks forward at the camera, and then blinks. And then he's like, I just started to keep track of every time she did that. And then all the papers, like a stack of papers of like decades of it.
Or it's like when he tries to uncover the Turning Teeth song.
Yeah,
and he's writing it on like a pizza box.
Yeah.
And like trying to make sense out of something that's like
I like how like,
bullshit.
he holds it with his feet and he's just like looking up at it.
Yeah.
Like
it's like such an ineffective way to do it.
You got some.
Let's see. Are you talking about that Silver Lake movie? Yes, we are. Yeah, big. It's like you might like it. It's like a conspiracy. It's not a hardcore conspiracy movie, but it's definitely like a big conspiracy.
Big
movie.
elements are in that.
Big conspiracy.
The broad strokes.
Yeah. It's like imagine a detective hipster movie.
A post-internet detective hipster movie.
So it takes place in 2011. Came out in 2019. The movie itself. Yeah, I watched it earlier this year. Okay, yeah. So how'd you like it? Do you guys wanna rate it? What do you guys want to talk about?
I guess I just wanted to also ask you what you guys think about that, like the one his like girlfriend character though, the one that he with at the beginning.
Think about her in terms of like what she offers to the plot, or
just like overall, because like we talked about how a lot of like the women throughout the film are kind of just like whatever, but like she doesn't seem to be like so much of like, she's not one of those like call girls. She's an actress, but and it seems like she likes Andrew Garfield's character, or I guess maybe like is
she enjoys being around him sometimes.
Yeah, or she wants to like him. It seems like.
Yeah.
Well, Fatir said the ending was pretty weird with that guy on the piano.
That's my favorite part.
How did all the Nirvana stuff in the movie make you feel, Elijah? What do you think about that?
It made me like, because it made me think, is like Kurt Cobain tied to like some type of conspiracy aside from like people think he was like the whole Courtney Love killed him type of thing. I tried to like think of like maybe like a popular conspiracy, almost like a Reddit theory that people might tie to Nirvana. I didn't really think of anything. I thought it was kind of funny that it made sense that Kurt Cobain was like
his hero,
his idol.
Yeah.
You know, you could totally see that working out. I remember seeing the guitar and I'm like, oh shit, that's Kurt Cobain's guitar, and just the way that's seen.
And then he grabs it.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, that was so cool.
Do you feel like sorry, I have two questions.
Okay.
Not really relating to each other. One of them, the first one's not really that important, but essentially, do you feel like there's ghostwriters like that actually do make like
the ultimate
the big
ghostwriters?
hits?
I think more so for like modern songs, definitely. I don't know when that started.
I think it's
definitely been like a thing for, but like in terms of like being like big, like obviously songs are like big as fuck.
It seems like it could definitely be within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I think it totally is.
Wasn't
I don't know about a guy like that though.
Wasn't
Maybe.
Like Shakespeare not super popular when he was alive?
Or no, there's like the whole thing that like Shakespeare is like kind of.
Oh, Shakespeare. There was another Shakespeare.
Yeah, like he didn't write his shit.
Yeah,
or like he wrote one of them, but then all of them kind of like people knew the name Shakespeare, and so but they would only want to see Shakespeare shit, but other people would write the plays that we know today.
Yeah.
But okay, so I have three questions. Sorry,
Okay,
but that was the first one. The second one was that I think it's interesting too. I guess obviously it plays into the conspiracy stuff, but like yeah, his idol is Kurt Cobain. But then like how Riley Keough's character is like kind of like a lot of the way she's framed and lit is like modeled after like Marilyn Monroe and shit like that. Like I guess like explicitly in things like the one pool scene. But then it kind of makes me think about like shit too, where like I guess like part of the reason like Marilyn Monroe like died or got killed or whatever because like she just knew too much. Like she was fucking the president and everybody, right?
Because isn't there like a conspiracy whether or not she killed herself?
Yeah. But I forgot it. I forgot what I was gonna say. That I'm sorry. But
you were connecting it with the character.
Yeah,
she's kind of. I mean, the female character that he's going after is kind of like that. It's just like she kind of disappears, and it's just like there's this whole conspiracy she's tied up with. Like it makes sense why they connected her to Marilyn Monroe.
I guess what do you guys think about like the whole thing about like him the rich guy faking his death and the whole like burial thing?
That's kind of makes
go for you.
It makes you think like on like the level of the screenwriter like or the songwriter, like there's probably people out there like that.
Because like
makes you think like, do famous people do shit like that?
That's what I wanted to connect to, because there's so many cases of I guess like you can say that about anyone who dies young, but like people think that like Tupac and Kurt Cobain and like Michael Jackson are still alive or did not die when they were officially supposed to die, a way to escape all of the bullshit or whatever.
Yeah, dude, imagine running into Kurt Cobain. He's just got like black short hair. He's old now. He's like, "Are you?" He's like, "No, my name's Bert."
Yeah, Bert Bobain.
Bert Bobain. Yeah, Bert Bobain.
He has like a double chin.
Yeah, you like see him playing guitar one day, and you're like, "That's Kurt Cobain." I'm sure he like never picked up a guitar again if he faked his death.
Oh God, I feel like Kurt Cobain probably would have died one way or another.
Yeah,
because he was like heroin addict.
Yeah, he was all fucked up.
It would be cool if he was out there.
What if it wasn't? What if it was all staged? You know?
Yeah. What if that was just like his
like all this stuff? Like I don't know if like there's like record like actual like photos or like obviously people have stories of him doing heroin and shit like that. But like you know those are stories, and I don't know if you want to think of it a conspiracy thing, you can say that like dang, what if it really is just like a big thing like the thing that takes people from a star to a legend is that everyone that was around them talks about him that way. You know?
Especially for like Nirvana, wasn't there like their fame was like super jarring? It was just like literally overnight.
Yeah, Kurt Cobain died in April of 1994. They became famous in like fall of 1991.
Yeah, it took 3 years.
And like, it's crazy.
Just,
he died at 27, and he became like mega famous at 24.
Did he write "Smells Like Teen Spirit"?
Yeah, he wrote it after a girl he used to date.
Did he?
And it was because there was this cologne named there was this cologne named Teen Spirit or something, and she wrote on his wall, "Kurt smells like Teen Spirit."
Interesting.
And he didn't. It doesn't really seem like they liked the song too much, probably because it like really blew up. Yeah. And they were punks.
Yeah.
So it's like Creep with Radiohead.
Yeah, you know. Like it's obviously not a bad song. First time anyone hears "Smells Like Teen Spirit," they're like, okay, like it's the song. Like fucking.
Imagine we went to the for the culture thing
and you hear "Smells Like Teen Spirit," but like
time.
For now, you know, like I remember one time I was checking this person out at work, and they had a Nirvana shirt on, and it's the smiley face one. I really don't think the shirt looks too cool, just personally. And I asked him like, "Oh, what's your favorite Nirvana song?" And then they go, "Oh, I really like "Smells Like Teen Spirit." It's like such a buzzkill, you know? Like,
dude, I've been really digging "On a Plane" recently.
Oh,
dude, I've been listening to that one a fuck ton.
Hold on. I start this off without any words.
That
I
one
got so high, scratched till I bled.
What's the other one? The other one goes like, "Love yourself, love myself better than you."
That's "On a Plane."
That's "On a Plane." Yeah, I gotta make sure. I mixed that one up with another.
That song is just about not being able to write a song too.
Is it really?
The lyrics are
sense, "On a Plane." Yeah.
Like the last line of it is like, "One more special message to go, and then I'm done, and I can go home."
Waffen Cedar said Cobain was a CIA operative, and "Sappy" is a great song.
Oh, Sappy! Sappy's about a turtle.
Is it really? I remember he said that on the one episode you're on in Wizard, and you're like, "Oh, you have to really dig through the trenches to find."
Yeah, he's definitely listened to some Nirvana if he likes Sappy.
Yeah.
See, that'd be maybe some people too like don't say that because they don't want to come off like.
It's like a pretentious douche or some shit.
Like that. Or it's just like
I always try to say
it's just like you say like my favorite Nirvana song is like Floyd the Barber, and then they're like, "Oh, cool." And then it's just like I dug down for that, you know? Yeah. That's coming from my soul, and then you just like you don't understand it. And then they probably think you're pretentious, and it's like if you're talking to like I guess like okay, maybe like Wyatt about Kanye or something, and you told him like like a really like in their Kanye song, and then they're just like, cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like you ever play a song for somebody and like you're the only one that like likes it and everyone else kind of like waits for the song to be over. You
They're
know?
like, they're like, who's next?
Yeah, that's happened. It sucks. But gotta have those moments.
Yeah.
Like, at least you enjoyed it.
If anything, it's like the thing of sometimes you learn what you like by what people don't like. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I actually do like this. You know,
You're not just liking it because everyone else.
I'm not brainwashed. I actually like something.
What was your third question?
Oh, it was about you, Nor, because you asked us and we didn't ask you. So, like, do you think that there's something bigger going on
in real life?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know what exactly. I mean, I could always speculate. I could talk for a long time about it. Right. Just like all the stuff I've noticed. I'm gonna sound like a crazy person if I
guess we gotta save it for Wizards.
Just
we'll save it for Wizards.
Out of like, just like statistics, it seems like there should be a lot of stuff out there that we don't know about.
Like the whole like simulation thing. It's more probable that like there is something going on than there is.
Yeah.
You know, Eyes Wide Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Movies like that, movies like this reinforce that idea.
To me, like when I think about like movies like Eyes Wide Shut too, sometimes I feel like, in a sense, it's kind of like a backwards thing where like people see Eyes Wide Shut and then they start doing Eyes Wide Shut type of shit. Not to say that it didn't happen before, but I feel like it happens more frequently afterwards.
It's
you
like
know?
the ideas have been exposed now.
Do you think there's guys like Andrew Garfield's character who saw Under the Silver Lake and then started doing that shit?
Yeah, Waffen-Cedar. He said, I think there's a small handful of producers working on all pop music. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know about all pop music, but I've definitely heard. I've read articles somewhere where it's like certain like pop singers.
Even when like the Harvey Weinstein shit comes out, and like you just go back and like there's that one YouTube video where it's like a 3-minute compilation of like everyone just like thanking Harvey Weinstein at the award show, and it's like, even if they're acting, like they're really making him. They make him seem like an important guy, you know, like a good person. Like they're always thanking him, and it's just like
we couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah, exactly. It's I remember there's one where they say I don't know who he had to sleep with for me to get this role or something like that, and it's just like, in a way they're like self-aware about it. It's like comfort and a paycheck over like truth.
The world in a world built on lies, the truth is a threat.
In the Quentin Tarantino,
that's from Donda. You guys gotta listen to that shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Say that again.
In a world built on lies, the truth is a threat. And then he says, I'd rather deal with the shame than the weight of the lies. Every time I speak, I just wait for the lies. Every time I see the food, I just wait for the flies. I know what that last part means, but I like
every
that
time
part.
I see the food, I just wait. He's just looking at food. That's funny.
But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. That's actually, it ties into it pretty good. Like in the Quentin Tarantino podcast with Joe Rogan, like Joe Rogan kind of asks him about the Harvey Weinstein shit.
Yeah, that part is strange because like
he kind of
even
like says
someone like Tarantino gets coy about it. Like he doesn't like. He says it comes off honest and earnest, but it still feels like he knows he has more to say. Like
it almost feels like he knew shit was happening and he didn't do it to his fullest extent to stop it from happening.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said that I was literally listening to the clip today.
Oh, really?
Literally, he said some shit like he wished he would have stepped in, but it sounds like the tone he's coming off of is honest, but like thinking about the words, just like. It does feel like they weren't doing anything, you know, or like he says like what the fuck did he say? He said some shit like they knew it was happening and like, oh, it was just like him like doing his thing. We all thought he was just doing his thing, not that it was right.
That's like us like going to like somebody's set and there being like a Harvey Weinstein, or not even like a Harvey, just like a weirdo,
a problem,
and like we talk about like that's really strange, but like we're doing our own shit, right? So like we don't really.
And then think about it too, just with like the way like. What was it, like the American New Independent Cinema of like the 90s?
Yeah.
And just the way like Miramax blew up and everything was going so fucking good. You know, like these movies are getting nominated for Oscars, making a shit ton of money. Everything's going good. And then you have this guy in here who's kind of like a big reason a lot of it's going good, doing like really fucked up shit. And some people probably have to think, well, maybe it'll pass. Like everything's going good right now. Why are we going to fuck it up?
Right.
And then that's just like a huge moral dilemma, and
that's what LA feels like as a city. Like,
yeah,
like
you got good shit going, but there's also like tip of the iceberg shit.
Yeah.
Do you think it's?
What a great movie.
That's an interesting moral dilemma, especially like going into trying to pursue entertainment. It's like, I wonder when that'll come up.
When you go into a career of brainwashing, you're gonna run into people.
I mean, and I wonder like what's not really like. I wonder what's like a good course of action in that situation. You know, it's like build your career on like, you know, turning a blind eye, or
if anything, like the way I think of it is like, it makes me like not like Vegas more, but like. In a sense, like it plants a seed in me, like to form a community more here, because like I feel more safer like doing it in my backyard than going somewhere and
me too.
And finding shit, because then you're like everybody else. We're like you just get I think there's a point where you just get in too deep, where like you can either have a career and your dreams can come true, or like you can just I don't know, be buried in all the whatever shit, or you can come here and you or you can do it right here, like where you are, and you don't even have to learn about that.
Yeah, it gets super cutthroat.
But that's I don't even know how confident I am in that statement about just like it all happening here. I feel like at a certain point,
I'm like 60-70% confident in like Vegas.
That's a good number to be honest.
Officer said being independent instead of selling out, it's a lot easier now with the internet. Sure as fuck is.
Definitely.
I'm not sold out. I don't make any money. Waffle is the only person who's giving me money. Thank you, Waffle.
Shout out.
Give me like $15.
Waffenseater he saw Quest for Fire, right?
He did. He's recommended.
He's a real one.
I saw Quest for Fire. I liked it a lot. Good recommendation. Solid. Really
Follow us on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quest for Fire is good. Really liked it. Let's move on. We've been talking about this one for a while. Yo, Elwood just showed up. What's up,
Elwood?
Hey, what's up, Elwood?
We just finished talking about Under the Silver Lake. We're about to talk about. Let's rate it first. What do you guys rate Under the Silver Lake?
I definitely want to learn more, kind of about the puzzle aspect of the movie.
Yeah.
I definitely don't understand that all the way, but really fun time watching it. Makes you think about this shit. Definitely like a 7 or an 8 out of 10.
Okay, that's good. Solid.
I give this like a 12th iceberg layer in terms of going to the bottom out of like
14, 15?
Yeah, 14.
14? That's pretty good. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I'd like to. This is definitely a movie that deserves to be like dived into, just for like, just for the work that went into it. It's incredible.
Sorry, can I
Go ahead,
actually have a retcon. I'm gonna do 11 out of 12. So.
Damn. All right. Tight. All right. So 964 Pinnochio. I saw an image for it on Instagram. It was just like him when he's like running through the street and shit.
It's the most iconic.
It's super like, it's easily like the staple of the fucking movie is just that scene. What'd you guys think? There's a lot of like different. I have very mixed emotions about this movie.
I kind of had a Beau Travail experience with it.
No.
Oh damn! Really?
Yeah, it was a long weekend.
Oh, fair. Fair. No, your weekend was long.
But oh my gosh, it was very bizarre.
Elwood said, I remember getting really hyped when I saw the trailer freshman year. Was it the trailer for
964 Pinocchio?
Text me when you're talking the next movie. Okay. Text me when you're talking the next movie. When we're talking about which one?
Tangerine.
Probably Tangerine. Yeah.
Oh dang, he had that loaded.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shout out to Elwood.
All right, so continue, Elijah.
Oh, it was like, it didn't scare me, but it's just like, this is so.
It disturbed me.
This is so. So
Yeah.
grimy. Like that part where she's running through like the subway essentially and throwing up and shit.
Dude, I like that.
And
part
I feel
so
like,
much.
Have you heard of a movie called Possession?
Yes, but I haven't seen it.
Like the 1980s movie.
Yeah.
I think Sam Neill's in it. There's a scene in there that's like kind of like the iconic scene from the movie where this girl's like running through like similar type of thing, subway, or kind of like that thing the girl's in Irreversible, whatever it's called, and she's just like screaming and shit. And I feel that's what that reminded me of. It'd be interesting if they'd seen the movie and thought about that with that scene. But then the rest of the movie, I remember a lot like that girl Himiko just dragging Pinocchio around, and he's just going like, yeah. And then the ending with the fucking heads. So fucking weird. Yeah. Yeah, that was my impression.
Yeah. Damn. It's I would say rewatch it because like there's some really good moments. But I mean, like I don't know. But Anthony, you go ahead.
Well, I guess I'll like. I feel like it's not the only movie to do it, but there are definitely parts in this movie that like genuinely like disturbed me, like in a good way. That I'm like, wow, this shit's fucked up. But I guess to as a stepping stone to that, I fucking love this movie. Like I watched this and like, I got into it.
Yeah,
I felt it. That being said, though, I had to watch this over like multiple viewings because I just got too high every time, and it got to.
Oh, dude, yeah, that fucked me up too much.
It got to a point where I just had to stop the movie, and I hate doing that, but damn, I think that very rarely do I see a movie these days that like goes like hits me in my fucking like
frontal cortex.
Nah. Past the frontal cortex, because when I like a movie, I guess you'd say it hits my frontal cortex. But what's I don't even know what it's called. Your hypothalamus.
That's like where the site is. I don't know what it's called.
I guess okay. So through my eyes into my hypothalamus, into whatever you want to say, something inside of me. I'm gonna just call it my pituitary gland. It's not even that, but we'll just say that because like this hormone goes inside me that like changes my whole body, and that's what this movie feels like. It went into my system.
The pineal gland.
I guess
that's like the third eye one.
Okay, yeah, because I know the pituitary is like the puberty one, but the pineal gland,
that's a DMT one.
Yes, yes, and that like it infects my system, and I know that going forward, making shit, it to me it's to me I feel like this is a similar thing when like somebody like Tarantino watches like Lady Snowblood, and maybe it's a lame ass movie, but like I'm gonna steal from this fucking movie.
Dude, I'm gonna steal from this movie too, like a fucking
I'm still
lot.
so much.
Go ahead.
And I guess to sum up, I guess like my introduction to what I think about this movie is that like there's just so much too that just feels so unique. Like, and like I guess that's what I mean too by like when you watch so many movies, like okay, you've seen the over the shoulder, you've seen a wide, you haven't seen this over the shoulder.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And shit like that where I'm like, wow, is this actually something new? I'm watching something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Shojin Fukui, for this film.
He only made like one or two movies.
He made
after this one and like Rubber's Lover.
Yeah,
which looks like
apparently it's supposed to. It's not like an explicit prequel, but it's a kind of like a prequel to Pinocchio 964.
You have to check it. I saw the trailer for both, and I was like, we have to watch. I have to recommend at least one of these. Sorry. But yeah, I agree with what you said. Like watching, just like especially, I mean, dude, like the shots and like the camera movement. Dude, some of the camera movement was like fucking insane. Like it didn't work all the time, but like when it worked, it was just like, what the fuck? I've never seen anybody do that. I like a lot of the shots in the beginning where she's like sitting down, like just like, you know, looking through the binoculars and stuff. Like I remember we were talking about it when you said you watched some of the like the first part of it, and I was like, yeah, it looks like the lens is like just glass. It doesn't even look like a proper like camera. It's just so interesting how it looks. And they had some great shots in the beginning, especially.
There's like a lot of fisheye type of stuff too, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's actually no. I take that back. There's a few shots with like more of a longer lens, but for a majority of the movie, it feels to be shot wider.
Yeah.
Which I always think is interesting because I don't know. I feel like when you shoot on a wider lens, or not even that it's shot on a wide lens, it's shot on a wide lens, but it still feels like intimate in the same way that like a 75 in a close-up.
Yeah.
Where like you don't really see anything in the background. It's just the face. And I get that same impression when they do a close-up with this, which I assume to be like with like a 24 or even smaller. But which was interesting. But what were you gonna say?
Well, Teeter said sort of reminds me of The Men Who Stare at Goats.
Oh shit! I've seen that movie.
I haven't seen it.
I
always felt like it was a Coen Brothers ripoff.
964 Pinocchio.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Maybe he meant for Under the Silver Lake. I'm not too sure.
Oh.
Does that make more sense?
Yeah, Under the Silver Lake makes
yeah.
more sense.
I think Wafatu's comments are coming in.
Do you know what the men who stare at goats is about?
No.
It's about like guys who like stare at goats and get like telekinetic powers.
That sounds cool as fuck.
It's interesting. It's like a frame narrative type of thing, and it takes place in like fucking like the Middle East.
Make sure the audio sounds good.
I always like at Blockbuster. I remember seeing the DVD for it, and I've always seen like the poster on Netflix and shit like that. But like it just the poster and like whatever. It just to me it always looked like a Coen Brothers ripoff. And so
it's kind of like that. Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of Burn After Reading without like the flair of Burn After Reading.
What makes like Burn After Reading good?
Yeah, you know. The Men Who Stare at Goats is just kind of like a funny idea that's just executed kind of, you know, a little bit above average for the most part. I remember when that movie came out. Well, I just remember.
He said it's about a CIA operation to train Jedi Knights.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Jeff Bridges, I think, is in it, and he's like a big ass hippie.
That's the thing that like a lot of the cast is from like Coen Brother films, right?
George Clooney, Ewan McGregor's in it. They got some big names. The guy who directed it, I don't know his
think
name.
He did anything else?
Yeah,
really notable.
It feels like Burn After, like a Burn After Reading ripoff type of tonally.
964 Pinocchio. This movie made me laugh a lot too. I was laughing throughout.
That's the thing. Like all the parts that disturbed me, like, it was so disturbing that it's fun. Like wow, like I don't know.
Or even like the fucking dude, the guy who one of the guys looking for 964 Pinocchio, and he's like in the subway, and he like ditches him, and he's like, I'm gonna adopt a daughter. Dude, I was laughing so fucking hard. That part was funny. Do you remember that part, Elijah?
No.
Dude, he starts following this little girl in the fucking subway.
Dude,
like,
there's a fucking
Pinocchio.
No, this like, random the guy looking for Pinocchio.
Oh, okay.
One of like the he's like they're all dressed
in a
up
trench
and
coat.
Shit. Yeah. He's got like a what has he got on him, like a radio, like a boombox.
Yeah, he's got like a boombox or I think it's a boombox.
And he's just like. Because he mentions earlier, he's like, oh, my wife, like, we were talking about adopting a girl. And, like, later on, he's, like, all sweaty in the subway. And he's like, fuck, it's like, I want to adopt a girl. My wife doesn't want to adopt anymore.
Like, a random little girl, no one, or she's just alone, just walking through the subway.
I like how there's a sound effect when she's walking. It's just, like, a squeaky toy. It's like, it's like, what the fuck? And then he just, like, comes in and just, like, picks her up and just starts running away with his little girl. And like that's it. And that's like the end of the story.
And then it just cuts away.
Yeah, it's just like you never see him ever again.
What the fuck?
It's so funny. Yeah, Pinocchio. For the most part, I enjoyed like pacing wise. I think it was paced really well up until like the love scene. You know, like where they make out.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
The pacing there was like perfect. It was like I feel like I'm watching a genuinely really good movie. Then after that, it gets so like goofy.
See, and I was thinking about that because at first it's so like disorienting and in such a juxtaposition to like the first like what 45 minutes that we've seen.
Like that, yeah.
But then I guess I read into the filmmaker and the film a little bit more and then thinking about it more, I kind of think it's supposed to be that way because I was thinking about it too. I guess I feel like I have key phrases I use like sorry or like film form, but that I was thinking about it because in the first half. A lot of steady cam, a lot of long shots.
Yeah.
There's this one the one scene when Himiko teaches Pinocchio like how to speak and like he remembers that he can speak, and the whole thing is just in one shot. But you know sometimes you see a one shot thing, and it's just like they just place the camera. It doesn't even feel like it just feels like they didn't think out how to cover the scene.
Wow, there's 6 viewers right now. That's fucking
nice.
Yeah, cool. All right, keep going.
We're growing. Consistency is king. But then after that part, after the love scene, the editing in the second half is just off the charts, you know. And then what you're saying too, with like some of the shit they do with the camera, and I think that's part in the second half where like it works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
But the camera's moving and things are just happening.
Yeah.
Always. But yeah, I don't know. Part of me wishes like the whole movie continued with the pace of the first half.
Yeah, because it was so fucking good.
But I feel like then in a sense it's a different movie. Like part of when I think of this movie too is that second half, and I think I don't know how much of it is done on purpose. I like to lean towards believing that like the extended like drag chase sequence feels, I don't want to say purposeful. I don't know a better word to say though than purposeful. Like, just I don't know. It feels like it goes from narrative to
like experimental.
Yeah, experimental, more figurative.
Yeah,
and it goes from like story first to visuals first. That's what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
But it seems like that's like kind of like one of his, like it's more of a stylistic thing. Like, I did not fucking know. I don't know if you guys have seen. I haven't seen the movie, but it's been on my watch list since like I was like a freshman in high school. It's called Tetsuo the Iron Man.
Yeah,
it's like the. Have you seen it?
No, but I'm very familiar with.
It's like
I'm super familiar.
It's like the quintessential like Japanese like
body horror.
Like body horror, but like also like cyberpunk movie, right?
Yeah.
But apparently the director on Pinnochio 964, he was the assistant director, and he was just
that makes so much sense. Yeah.
On that film, but like I guess also it's kind of cool, and if you guys want, I can like tell you a little bit what I know about the history of like because it started out as like the Japanese like punk rock scene, which turned into the Japanese cyberpunk scene, but then I guess the specific thing that they were involved in is called Tokyo Psychopunk.
Cool. Japanese do some cool shit.
But what was I gonna say? Damn, I forgot what I was saying about like the film in the second half, but something to do with.
Oh, it's more visual in the second half.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm sorry, guys.
You're all good. You're all good.
I think there's a shot where it's like a big close up on the girl's face as she's dragging him, and just like the way she laughs.
Dude,
it's so maniacal.
Bro, I got
that's
really
good
sad.
Performance actually.
I got no. You're right.
That's
like
a really good performance.
Yeah.
From the girl and from Pinocchio.
Yeah.
It's honestly it was genius. Like I
Dude,
don't know.
oh dude, they didn't get any permits for any of the locations.
Yeah, I don't know if you. Yeah.
So they went into like the grocery stores and they were like just filming handheld, like actually.
Where she's like taking the tools and shit.
The tools and like the grocery store.
The fuck?
So they're actually going through the grocery store just like with the camera, having the actors just walk around all fucking weird and shit. It's like, dude, the same movie's so cool.
Same thing on like the streets of Shinjuku. Like everyone was just staring at them because like they were literally
weird
doing
as
it.
Fuck.
They were literally doing it for real though. Like they were just like pushing people out the way. Like they were just filming and shit, which is crazy. But
even,
sorry, what?
I was just gonna say even like the part where he's dragging the metal block or whatever like through the streets. I just fucking neat. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Nah, it's okay.
I really like his weird ass like mohawk type of thing.
It got longer too. Like there was like it just like cut and like it seemed like I don't know if it was on purpose or like it was supposed to be like time has passed or whatever. But his mohawk got longer, right?
I didn't notice that actually.
Yeah, because like in the beginning of the film, it's pretty like short, stubby, and you know by the end, it's a good like 6-8 inches, right?
Yeah.
I like when she teaches him how to say Pinocchio.
Me too. That part was good. I really like that part. Pinocchio.
And he kind of just like moves his head around and shit.
Fucking
locations were great too. that was another thing too. Like besides all the stuff that took place at like whatever like the big bad the boss guy like his office shit, which seemed to be pretty. Also, too, this movie came in 1991. Feels
dude.
I wouldn't say like
cool.
It feels like it should have came out
like the 70s or something.
Or I was gonna say like later. Like
I was gonna say 2000.
Yeah, it feels like more of like a late 90s or early 2000s thing.
Yeah.
When it feels like every decade, like the switch, like I would say between like 89 to like 91, you're always like, is this more of the next decade or the previous one? And like coming off of the heels of the 80s, it's so interesting that this film feels so forward and like I feel like it makes more sense if this came out in like a 98 99 or even like a 2004 2003, but for it to come in 91, I don't know, Japanese are cool.
Now what's cool what's the reception of this movie? Do people talk? It seems like it's very like underground kind of.
It's underground, but I was doing research and I guess it did have a US DVD. Like it was
decent.
I heard about that.
It's out of print now, but both of his films did get some sort of US and UK distribution. And the UK title is different than the
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's like
something
Screams
weird.
of Blasphemy or something like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I saw that.
Screams of blasphemy.
I don't think it's but the word blasphemy
Screams
is in there.
Bollocks.
But I don't know what.
The main idea is like he's like a sex robot, right?
Yeah.
And then he like runs away, or they let him go.
It's like he becomes impotent, so they like throw him out.
That's at the very beginning, right?
He's like a defective sex robot.
And then Himiko finds him.
Yeah.
And then what's she do that like makes her? What's he like do to her that makes her like throw up and shit?
He just like starts like convulsing. Yeah, they really don't explain it. It's like
it just happens.
Like, convulsing, yeah,
okay.
like melting and shit.
I guess they, when I was reading into it, apparently like because remember the opening montage where like they were experimenting on him and But also too, is he actually a robot or is like he just like some experiment? Because like
I don't know.
It seems like they wiped his memory, right?
It seems more like he was like a human being, or like something like that. Like
I think I read stuff where it's like he's a cyborg.
Yeah, he's like a human turned into some sort of.
He's like super strong and shit. You know?
But apparently, I guess it's implied throughout the film that Himiko has also been experimented on. But like, that's why she draws the maps, because she can't remember anything either, and that's why they're like, oh, I'm gonna make this map for more people like us. Yeah. And I guess it's like, in the universe, it's like a thing where like people just get experimented on and it's dumped on the street. And
that makes sense. Yeah.
But then that's where it gets confusing, because even in the descriptions I tried to read of this movie, at that part where he starts convulsing and then they like make love, and then because after that, like I kind of got sad when she just started like torturing him and shit. I was like,
me too. I was like, I really liked their relationship.
Yeah, like I
genuinely liked it.
I thought that like she, I guess this little corny, but I thought that like she was gonna help him like become like a real boy. You know, I thought it was gonna be a Pinocchio story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She has like some mean lines to him too. Like you dumbass.
She does a complete 180.
Yeah,
it's disturbing. That's the part. It's like, damn.
Yeah, I felt betrayed too.
But in like even in like the Wikipedia description and everything, like the way they describe what happens is that like he goes through more of an external metamorphosis, and while hers is much more like internal, but by the end they both like coincide into like whatever that fucking thing
that was. So that was funny.
That part was nuts.
That was funny.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing too. Like, again, there's certain parts of this movie that's like, I kind of wish it was different, but I don't want anything to change, because this movie I want everything in this movie to be how it is. But like the head that she transforms into in the end is the only thing throughout the movie. And I know that some stuff looked cheaper, especially it's all the stuff with like the boss in the office and the lady that kind of that kicks Pinocchio out, to me that feels more low budget. I love all the stuff with Pinocchio and Himiko and all that shit, but the head is the only thing that feels like
cheap.
Just cheap.
Yeah, it looked cheap. It looked like it was just like put on her head.
Because I guess also too, just everything else in the movie feels so like
well resourced
or organic. Like even when like she's like barfing and shit, it doesn't look real, but it feels real in the thing. But that it just doesn't. It feels so out of reality of even the story. But I liked everything that story wise, that like him putting on the head and all that shit. I don't know. I don't know what happened to her though. I don't know if you guys have a theory.
Dude, yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't even try to like explain it to myself. It's just like, this is Pinocchio. This is the movie.
Yeah.
Dude, I really like the scene where she's going through the subway, like, and just like freaking out, like running through. Like those are all like definitely random people just seeing this lady just like flip out.
She goes batshit.
Yeah, she goes like I just the performance was so good. And it's like not just a performance. It's like it's a performance in public.
That looks like it'd be fun to do.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Bro, that scene reminded me of you when we filmed God for Lucifer.
Dude, that's what I was watching it with. I was watching it with Kate, and that's what she says. Like, it reminds me a lot of God for Lucifer.
we need an upper ante now. And
yeah,
we need to start doing public stuff.
Candid camera, like Borat.
Not even candid camera. We just have the shit out there and everything.
Elijah, we're just making you more and more pathetic.
Okay, that's fine. It's okay.
But yeah, I guess we were saying before in terms of great performances, like the part that is so striking is that like, not that it's logical in like in I guess like a standard way, but in terms of like a theatrical like sort of heightened reality, because like she kind of goes crazy, like she's in shock, right, from whatever fucking just weird shit happened with Pinocchio and her and with him too, because like right, I don't know, to me
no, I agree.
And also too, I don't know, it seems interesting, and I feel like there's definitely something to do with like and what I've read, it seems to confirm what I was thinking, because like at least what I know about Tetsuo and like the whole Japanese cyberpunk, it was more body horror. And this definitely has that, but this seems to be more, instead of like a body transformation, a mental transformation. And that's what I feel like the second half is in terms of it being more of a mental thing. And I feel like when you think of it in that sort of way, like sometimes in a mental transformation, more than a body one, it feels like it hurts to exist, because it's not even a physical thing. It's just the way you perceive.
Your mind is strong.
Yeah. I remember doing a little bit of research on like, especially like Akira, because they have some body horror in there. But like I like the way that they would use it, because you're right, it's like more mental. You know, like in Akira, it's more of like a societal fear of like technology and like youth and stuff like that. There's like all those aspects of it. But here, I don't know, it feels almost like because he's like a sex slave, and you know there's that aspect of like him running through the city, and he's got the fucking chain on his back and stuff like that, and like he starts convulsing and stuff. I don't know, it's all right. I kind of have a theory now.
Okay,
go for it.
Just not for like the ending, just like the beginning. In terms of like him mutating the beginning, does kind of feel like the defective aspect of him, and like women just being repelled by it, like throwing him out, or like, you know, enslaving him. I don't know. That's just like the beginning of it.
I feel I don't know if this is what you're going for, but now it's making me think of like when you think of the imagery and like, I guess like the actual premise of him being a sex slave and the slave thing, but it being, instead of like a physical change, a mental change, it seems like the impetus of the story is that like he's like reprogramming himself out of like the slave thing. He's starting to think and feel things, and that's why he becomes defective. And but then in a world built on truth, on lies, the truth is a threat. And like I feel like there's something about like learning about like real life, or what it means to be living, not even human, but just to be a life form is it's scary at first until and I think it's I don't know, a natural progression from like fear to pain and anguish to whatever the fuck happens at the end.
It might be worth it to analyze this movie.
That's what I honestly think though. I don't know if like what we're saying like makes you want to think about the movie more.
I'm gonna watch the movie again.
Oh shit!
Just because I feel bad.
I mean, like even the part.
It's okay.
Even the part where. Sorry, were you gonna say something, Elijah?
No, it seems like you guys really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
like
it was pretty.
I remember like enjoying the visuals, thinking it was cool, but I didn't really get too much out of it thematically because like I was fading in and out. But that's cool with what you're saying, where it's like he's kind of like denied like any type of apathy.
Yeah,
he has to experience life and like
it's full
every emotion. You know, everything has an emotion to it. I feel that's like what life is like when you're like a little kid, because I think back to like. And you said, I remember you said something a while back where it's like you like movies about like with like child protagonists, and I had like shower thoughts about that.
That's it.
And I just tried like, I guess I don't watch too many movies with like child protagonists, and then I kind of like thought about like my own childhood, and like I was very emotional during childhood, but I feel like in a way everyone kind of has that. Because you're experiencing the shit for the first time.
Right.
And you haven't like developed like kind of like an immunity to certain emotions. You know? I feel like when you get older, you get a lot more apathetic about some things.
Yeah, definitely.
Just with like life gets harder, and in a way you kind of have to you have to not let some things bother you.
It's like learned behavior. Like you figure out what hurts and what doesn't, and then you kind of live or act in a way to prevent the hard.
Yeah, because it's your body's trying to survive. Your mind, you don't want to be. You want to be in like a comfortable state, and in a way, it's important to like push yourself out of that, because if you're always in that comfortable state.
Sometimes I feel like it's not even that like you have to like actively force yourself out of it. Like certain things or situations will put you into that position.
Oh, definitely.
And or even it's like it's happening to you before you even realize it. And and yeah, that's how.
Waffen Cedar asked, "Is the movie pretty distinct from other body horror films? I know there's a shit ton of those types of movies in Japan. That's a good question. I haven't seen a lot of body horror.
I wouldn't say I'm well versed in like Japanese body horror, but I mean I've seen.
Is Iche body horror at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Audition is a little.
Yeah, I feel like those ones though, like it's more of like
it's got
an aesthetic thing, because
like
like
not just a body horror thing.
It's not dealing with the themes, because like I feel like a body horror film is more about like the way,
like the figurative.
It's transformation. Yeah, it's about renewal, rebirth, or death, and figuring out what it means to be whatever you are, you know, and it's through this transformation you figure that out.
Like physical means.
Yeah, like I guess
The Fly.
Yeah,
The Fly.
And I would say that. What was his question again?
Is it different? Is it distinct from other body horror?
Yeah, because
I'd say so.
That's I guess that's what it is. I guess like what we've been talking about, it's not so much physical as it is mental, and that's how I feel about the structure of the movie too, in terms of like you kind of get not a traditional structure, but like, you know, one that you could kind of like hang on and follow until like that one, and then it kind of like goes off the rails, and that's how it feels. Like it to me, that's like the body horror aspect of like a transformation. But it's so interesting that the film, I guess in that's way it's experimental, right? Like it's doing it in a different way. Instead of it actually showing it like literally or explicitly, it's doing it through how it's presented, not what's presented, but how. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think it's also just distinct in style, just the film language, the shots. I mean, costumes, locations, shot. I mean, lenses, everything. The
locations are, I guess we already said it, but like I told Norby about this, but I don't know if you remember. It's early on in the film when Himiko first finds Pinnochio.
Okay.
But when she takes him to wherever her fucking lair is, like there's just this wall of like,
oh god, dude, yeah, that shot is so
like,
good.
I don't know, like air conditioning units or whatever. And I don't even know if that was real or not, but like, you know, it's when you see, it's like when you think of like it's not even, I wouldn't even call it an establishing shot in its traditional sense, but you see that shot and it establishes what this world is, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you see something that's so unique that you're like, oh, they live in a world where like this is a wall to them, you know?
Yeah.
And then like obviously he runs to the city, but then he runs into like the fucking, I don't even know what to call it. It's just like an empty warehouse. And he runs through that before he reaches the boss. Also, I kind of like it's to me.
Oh yeah.
To me, it reminded me of like Police Story when he punches the guy in the stomach.
Yeah.
I'm like yeah. But yeah, locations were, and I loved whatever their fucking room, lair, house was.
It was like it was a lair.
Where
like,
was
whatever.
it though?
Like,
I
don't know.
To me, it reminded me of like the Wash from GOG for Lucifer. You know, it seemed like they were exploring the sewers and found this shit, which is cool.
I liked how much walking there was in the movie.
Yeah,
like sometimes there's like only one or two like scenes where the walking didn't work, but for the most part, the traveling was just like, I just felt in it. You know, I just felt like I really enjoyed watching them walk.
I guess that's the thing too. Like in terms of like pace and energy, like the characters are physically walking like through 90% of the film, or at least there's constant motion always happening. And even and that's I guess what I was saying. I was trying to say before about the long takes and shit like that. There's still constant motion, and I think not that it's necessary, but when you have a series of long takes where it's not just like, oh, this is a long take, everybody, you know, unless that's what you're going for, it, at least to me, I guess this is more of a taste thing. I prefer motion because sometimes to be honest, it feels lazy.
Yeah, I agree.
But what was I gonna say? Oh, this is kind of circling back to something we were talking about before in terms of like the whole childhood thing you were saying. And I guess like obviously maybe it's a little obvious, but like I guess that's why his name is Pinnochio. And like what I was saying, I was kind of expecting more of a Pinnochio story in that sense. And I'm guessing glad we didn't get that. But also when I was doing research, because I guess on the actual like title or posters, it's Pinnochio, but it's like the square root of 964.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And so I looked up the square root of 964.
It's like 31.2 or something.
Yeah, 31.041 whatever shit. But it's like I don't know what that number is supposed to mean. Like I thought it was supposed to. I thought it was supposed to be some clue. But maybe it's just cool. I don't know.
It is cool. Square root of 964.
It's just it rolls off the tongue.
964
and it doesn't make sense really, but it sounds cool.
You guys want to rate it?
Oh, I guess. Sorry.
You're good.
One last thing before we rate it.
Say thank you.
Thank you. Shot on film, but I guess in terms of a visual aesthetic, even though maybe they weren't purposely going for it, I like the low budget feel to
Me too.
to shooting on film in particular, because like there's a lot of stuff like in the grocery store scene or like running through the streets at night, and I've talked about it before, but on film, fluorescent lights, they show up as green, and there's parts of the movie where they're under green light, but a lot of it is just like it's one of the imperfections that comes with film.
Yeah.
But then there's a certain scene, it might be the subway one, where it just seems like in the film dyeing process they just didn't put the magenta dye, and so like
it's just all green.
It's all green.
I remember that.
And so I like that shit, and I guess that's what I mean too. Like, damn, not it's not even that like I want to steal it, but and not also that I had already like I was thinking of that, but it seems like, damn, that's something that I would have thought of. I didn't think of that, but I would have thought of that. It feels like
such a good. That part is so. That's one of my. I think that's one of my favorite.
That part's
really
really cool.
Easily. God, there's a lot of it that worked and didn't work for me, but it was just all around. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm very glad I watched it.
Thanks for recommending.
Thanks.
This.
No problem,
When I'll give it. I will be of sound mind when I watch it.
All right, cool.
Looking forward to it.
What
would you guys rate it?
I would give it like an 8.7.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
When you said this movie is like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You weren't expecting that.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I gotta do some math real quick. Sorry.
Oh, you're all good. He's gonna do some 964 shit.
All right.
What would you give it, Elijah? Even though you weren't sound of mind.
Okay. Square root of 169.
Out of
No,
just the
square root of 169.
Cool.
all right, well,
Which is 13.
A single 69, 13. Okay, gotcha.
It just gets a 30.
13 out of 10?
No, just 13.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm gonna give this one a 930.25 out of 964.
Oh, you just broke my brain. All right, cool. So that was Pinnochio. All right, so Elijah, Tangerine, last movie of the
Tangerine. So maybe like a month or so ago, I saw The Florida Project. The Florida Project's fucking great. And Sean Baker's made other movies. He's probably made like 6 features, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But I feel the only other one I'd heard about was Tangerine. And I think I'd heard about Tangerine before I heard about The Florida Project. The thing about Tangerine that I feel everyone goes to right away is like it was shot on an iPhone.
iPhone 6, gang.
And do you have the DVD for it?
Nah.
Okay. I checked out the DVD from the library, and he talks about it a little bit in some of the special features, which is cool too, because Tangerine and The Florida Project both have like normal DVDs, but there's like a lot of special features on each one, and
Nice.
Sean Baker's talking in each one.
Awesome.
And his like writing partner Chris Burgock, and yeah, I saw The Florida Project, really liked it. Wanted to check out Tangerine for Sean Baker and also like the iPhone thing. And it was like a movie. It was supposed to be about like basically like
Interesting topic.
Yeah, transgender prostitute looking for like a pimp or something. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So,
and what'd you think?
I really enjoyed it.
I did too.
I really it's cool looking at this like subculture.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, like the way these people interact with each other. Sean Baker kind of says this in like one of the special features, but it's like they kind of make they're in a shitty situation, and they kind of turn it into something better for themselves through humor.
Yeah.
And that's just like there's some lines in this movie that are just really
it's really funny. It's actually
really
funny.
Funny throughout, yeah.
Even if it's just something like kind of like small and like stupid. They're in I love the scene at the end when they're in donut time. But the pimp too, he's so funny.
Dude, he's
great. The pimp is great.
He's in Ken Park. He's
really?
Yeah.
Oh, yo.
He's in Ken Park.
Yo, he is in Ken Park.
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude.
He's actually.
You know what he does in Ken Park?
Yeah.
No, don't tell me.
I won't tell you, but you know what he does in Ken Park? Yeah. Oh shit, he's that dude. Yeah, he's that dude in Ken Park.
He's actually like a genuinely great actor because he's also in It Chapter 2.
What the fuck? Really?
And yeah, he's like he's all over the place, but like he's.
Oh my
he's
god.
In Ken Park.
He was so funny.
Dude.
He was great. Like I kind of like thought he was gonna be like kind of like a macho like asshole, but the dude's actually kind of like he's pretty chill.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying to make things work out, and like they're all getting mad and shit. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna buy us some donuts. We're gonna calm down. And shit, I forget their names, but Cindy, Cindy, like. It's just a really funny line. She's like looking over the donuts. She's like, "You got watermelon flavor?"
Yeah.
There's lines like that throughout the movie, though.
Yeah.
And it's great.
I like when they're in the bathroom and she's fucking looking at Dinah. She's like, "You have to Chris Brown the bitch."
Yeah.
Fucking God, I like the dude, the movie's so fucking funny.
The acting is like
good.
It's kind of like in the Florida Project where the main character in the Florida Project, he found her on Instagram, and she wasn't like a trained actor or anything, and he says this thing in like the Florida Project interviews too, where he says something like there's a difference between like professional and non-professional actors, but not like in the like obvious way where it's like he kind of like sounded like he considers like everyone as like an actor, and just because like you're a first-time actor or something, not to view it in like a positive light.
I think Martin Scorsese has a quote where he says like everyone was born to play one role, like at least one role in a film.
Oh yeah, these characters definitely feel like that. And they're very likable too.
Yeah.
They're pretty.
I wouldn't want to hang out with them though.
Yeah, but like you feel for them, you know.
Yeah.
And you get put in their shoes, and you go through like their emotional journey too.
Yeah.
Even like the Armenian guy.
Yeah.
You kind of get what that guy's going through.
For that, dude.
And it's cool too, just because of the topic. It's probably something that's always going to be like a moral gray ground to some extent, and it's just cool that there's a movie out there exploring that. And yeah, I'm really glad I recommended it. I'm glad we got to see it.
I'm glad I watched it.
This is your second time seeing it?
Yeah, I've already seen it, and I actually liked it a whole lot more this most recent time, because the first time I saw it, I guess even though I knew it was shot on iPhone and all this shit, you know, you come off of the heels of Florida Project and you're kind of expecting something like that, and I like how this is kind of it's different, you know.
Yeah.
It's its own thing, which is and going into it this time and thinking of it like that, it made it much more fun, and actually caught more of the humor this time as well.
Tight.
But I think what's so interesting about the film is not just even the characters or the story or even the jokes, but the way that the story is structured, you know, and how it kind of it starts with like the central plot of Cindy trying to find her pimp, but then it goes in it. I guess it's more of the specificity into it goes of like, now we're gonna follow an Armenian cab driver, and you know, in LA there's also another LA film, and I guess two things. Sorry.
I like the way you did that.
It's gonna be an Anthony staple.
I guess one thing about the whole LA thing is that like, it's interesting that we watched this in the group with Under the Silver Lake, because that, to me, that one kind of is a reflection on the sheen of LA and how it, you know, how dangerous it can be, while this one is about the beauty of like in a sense the grime of LA, right? And how like at the end of the day it's a city, and what are cities made out of humans, and these are human stories, I guess, right? Or that seems to be Sean Baker's like MO, but I guess and back to what I'm saying about the specificity of like not just a prostitute finding her pimp, but like her friend Alexandra who has a concert tonight, and then the Armenian cab driver who has a whole fucking family, you know.
Yeah.
And so I
that the scene with the cab driver where first he pulls over the one prostitute, and when you realize what his intentions are, it's at first I was kind of like, why are we following the character? And maybe that's me just not like thinking ahead too much, but then when he like basically like asks to give like her a blowjob, you're like, whoa, you weren't expecting that, you know? He seems like such, well, I'm not gonna say that. You wouldn't expect that.
No,
you wouldn't expect that.
That part's funny too, because he's like, what is that? Is it tucked in?
Yeah. She's like, what the fuck?
It's a pussy. he's like, get the fuck out my car.
Takes the money back.
Yeah.
God, the movie's so fucking funny. Dude, I like the part where the pimp is like, oh yeah, this is my fiance, and then Dinah's like, oh, you're like full gay now.
Yeah. Everyone thought, everyone told me you're legit. I didn't know legit homo.
Yeah, everybody's funny in this movie.
I really like the pimp.
The pimp was he was cool.
I like the part. The way they use music too is kind of it's really exaggerated, but it goes with like
it works.
The style of like the characters and shit. And I like the way the music kind of leads into that scene where Cindy's asking the pimp if she got him anything for Christmas. Is like, well, you know, I was gonna take you to Roscoe's. And she's like, well, I got something for you. And then whatever song they use, the song like builds up, and she's like, I got something for you, and she brings Dinah in, and the song says something like, I want you, and then she starts saying fucker, and it's just like, if you're the cashier and you just see this where it's like,
what's her name too? It's
I don't know,
Mom Sala,
yeah, like
something like that.
It's Mom something or whatever, right?
And he just talks to her so like normally too. He says something like, you got me kicked out of the place where I conduct my business.
Yeah. My day-to-day shit.
Yeah. But just like seeing someone come in and scream like fucker, it's funny.
How'd you guys feel about the colors in this movie?
Definitely iPhone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not even something to like get used to, but I think you got to think of it more conceptually. And also, I guess, what do you guys think about the I guess a question is like the title Tangerine, and obviously like the movie's bathed in like this orange like warm glow, and I think they kind of like talk about it too in terms of like the location of LA and it being Christmas time, but it looks like summer still. There's a line in there, they say like everything here is just fake. Something like that.
Oh, that's cool too, because like Cindy gets cheated on like with a fish.
Yeah.
And then like a tangerine is like a fake orange.
Right. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Elijah, you're fucking
You got it. Yeah.
Genius. I didn't think about that. Smart ass Elijah.
But what was I gonna? Damn. Now my mind's too blown to really know what to say.
Like, what else could we say?
I feel like though, just on like a style level with calling it tangerine.
Oh.
Like, I guess like when I think of Tangerine, I think of something kind of like, it feels like a stripper name.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that's like what the characters kind of give off.
That part's
the
funny
vibe.
too when he picks up the first girl and she's like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Whatever you want." She's like, "Oh, really? You guys usually have like exotic names." And shit, like,
Yeah.
But that's what I was gonna say about the colors and what you were saying. It's like, and I think it goes more with like a style thing of like the music and the colors too. It feels like the world that they live in. Not even
exactly.
that's what they see.
That's what I was
thinking. But this is an interpretation of that world.
I agree.
And that's so interesting. That it's like a world bathed in warmth.
Yeah.
But like not even like a comfortable warmth. It just it feels humid in a sense. You know what I mean?
The movie just like I was watching it, I just felt like I was drinking a Fanta the whole time, like the Fanta, like the hot
or like
summer.
Sunny D.
Yeah, Sunny D. It's reminded me of like a drink.
Yeah, like Sunny D's. I'm not a big fan of Sunny D, but like that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
At first I kind of thought it did take place in Florida.
Because like the colors are so extreme. It's like it feels like a Florida movie.
And we watch all these Florida movies, and like I didn't know it was like I thought like, oh, he did the Florida Project too.
Yeah.
And
He's from New York, or he at least went to NYU.
Yeah, he's like almost 50 now too.
Wow.
Yeah, he's in his late 40s.
Yeah.
He was in school with Todd Phillips.
At the time.
But yeah, he's also too. Another thing similar, where like you watch Florida Project, you're like, oh, I want to see more of this guy's shit. But besides Tangerine and the film before that, Starlet, all of his other shit still seems to be
very
hard
underground.
to find. Yeah.
Interesting.
But all of them. Sorry, what?
His new movie's gonna be at Cannes, or was at Cannes?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Oh shit.
What was it called?
It's
Red Rocket or something?
Yeah.
It's
Red
about
Rocket.
porn, I think.
Cool.
What was it? I don't know. You know, some people are just good at finding cool premises too.
Yeah.
And all his, even like his first movie, it's about like a Chinese takeout delivery guy or something like that. But I don't know.
It's so fucking cool.
Exactly. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, shout out to Sean Baker, and also he's probably the most famous person on Letterboxd. You guys,
Is he really?
You guys should follow him. Yeah, he used to do reviews all the time, but then he realized that like everyone follows him, and so people are. It's more of like, you know, the power of voice or influencer. It's like people are just gonna watch the shit just because he says it, and so he I don't know. He says a whole bunch of stuff about it, but in all of his Letterboxd reviews, he like puts if he watched it in what theater or on DVD, and if it's on DVD or Blu-ray, he'll list all the special features, and then he'll also like say if it's like shot on film or not.
That's really cool.
So he's a cool guy.
He also has there's a Criterion Closet.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I want to watch it again, but he says something about like Chantal Ackerman. She was.
I forget what he says, but I remember. Yeah.
She did Gene Dealman.
Yeah, the one.
It's like a 3-hour boring movie, or like 4-hour boring movie.
4-hour boring movie.
That sounds like a screen.
They talked
tone.
about it on Sardonicast, so I kind of want to watch it just to like listen to the Sardonicast episode.
It's in the Criterion collection.
It is. It's just that picture of her like making breakfast or something.
Like cereal or some shit.
That was like her big movie, but apparently she made a lot of stuff. And I really like when they're in donut time at the end, and the Armenian dude's like mother-in-law comes in, and she realizes like they're transgender.
But then, I love how she's like, oh, you're smoking marijuana with them.
Yeah, I was like, dude,
and he's like,
dude, he should have just gone with that.
Yeah, but then he's like, please just tell her I don't do drugs with you. He's like, no, he's not doing drugs. He's just fucking my.
He's like, fucking my bitch.
Yeah.
And then he tries to say like what prostitution is, and he's like, oh, he says something really fucking stupid.
Oh, no, he's like, what is it in Russian? What is it in Russian? It's
prostituki.
Yeah,
but he says it like it's like the right thing.
Yeah.
You know?
What was it? What was I gonna say? Oh, I guess also, or what did you think about The Colors Norby, or did we kind of like?
I know, I agree. You guys nailed it. That's exactly what I thought about it too.
All right. Or I guess more of a bigger question about like shooting on an iPhone and stuff like that. Because Sean Baker, he at least says some interesting stuff about it, because he's a film guy. Like if you're up to him, he would shoot on film.
Yeah.
But he's not an anti-digital guy.
Yeah.
Which it seems like a lot of these film guys are.
Right.
And I kind of agree what he says, where it's like part of the preservation of film is not because it's better than digital. It's just that like if you're like a creative person and you want it's a different medium in a sense. And it's like if you can only use colored pencils and you can never use markers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like it's not really about one or the other. It's about having the option to do either.
Right.
Good way to look at it.
But
is there a film and digital movie?
Yeah. It happens more often than you think with the more of the modern films that are shot on film. Where
that sounds about right.
Like I know, at least with Edgar Wright's last film, Baby Driver.
Yeah.
He's one of the film guys, but the cinematographer he talks about, like Edgar Wright doesn't even know this, but I had to shoot some of that shit on digital. Just because we couldn't put the film camera on the car.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's way easier to splice it now, but maybe there's two things. Like, yeah, it happens where it's like half film, half digital, or like whatever percentage of either one. But also two, where like I would say 95% of the films. Nah, it's all the films now that are shot. Even if you shoot on film, at a certain point in the process, it turns digital because like no one's cutting on film.
Right.
Everyone cuts.
Computers.
I don't want to say 99% of people cut digital, or even if it's not cut digitally, it's at least produced for the world digitally. You know, at a certain point, you're gonna be able to rent it on Amazon. You know.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a I guess it's a bigger conversation about than like where does the film matter? I mean, I'm a film guy, but I guess I don't want to copy Sean Baker or whatever, but I at least agree with his sentiments of like, hey, I shoot on digital right now too, you know, and I think it's a great place to grow and learn and to experiment, because that's the one thing. Like film started out so high, and sure, you maybe like process wise, chemical wise, it can get a little bit better, but digital just keeps on getting better in terms of the technology. And a lot of people say that too. We're like, hey, film and digital, it doesn't matter, we can shoot on whatever, but then they stick to one medium, and it's cool that he decided, like, you know, to be decidedly different and to like prove a point. He shoots on an iPhone, you know, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys ever use the Filmic Pro app. I use it because in high school. Oh, you have it?
I think I do.
He talks about that in the special features, where it's like it's not very expensive, and then you can get like this lens that you put over the iPhone camera, and
yeah, because I think he has like an anamorphic adapter.
It's something like that.
I think I deleted it.
But in high school, it's the only app I use. It's actually a great app. It's like if you wanted to shoot on feature on,
is it the pink one?
It's like red, and it's
red.
like but like a white F but like a.
Do you have it still?
I don't have it. I mean, I could show you what it looks like though.
I may have had it. I had like a bunch of shitty like editing softwares. I don't know, apps on my fucking phone.
Filmic Pro is like, I would say.
Did you actually buy the
yeah,
Pro? You bought a Pro?
Yeah, it's like it's $15, which obviously is way more than your average app, but it genuinely does like turn your iPhone or your smartphone into like a manual camera. You can control everything.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you can like this is what the app looks like. I don't know if you ever had this one.
No, I did not. Wow, that looks really cool.
Like this is like the interface, and so like on the left side that's for the aperture. On the right side is the shutter speed, and then you can control like colors and like log profiles and shit like that.
Can I see?
Yeah,
hand that to him.
Like it's like some Iron Man type shit.
So what would they say they used this for the movie?
Yeah. That
they used Filmmaker Pro.
They shot it on Filmic Pro.
Oh, cool.
That is really cool.
And it's great, because like I don't know, I've had, as long as I've had a smartphone, I've always had an iPhone, and I know like on like the Samsung or whatever Google Pixel one, there's like a manual mode on there where you can control the shit, but to be honest, I think the app still beats those things.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it.
What do you guys think about the singing part?
That's I really like the way that was framed.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was a good change of
just
pace.
like the kind of like close up on her singing.
Yeah.
And she has a really pretty voice. It's also like really bittersweet too, because you know, like
Elijah, you're respecting those pronouns.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
No.
Wait, why are you sorry?
No, it's just a little out of character, I guess, for Elijah.
Oh, sorry.
Let's say thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that sequence a lot, like especially the bathroom sequence. Like they're smoking crack.
Yeah.
That's right.
Was it crack?
Because at first I think it looks like a crack pipe, but I think they might just be smoking weed in there, or at least at donut time outside, they're smoking weed.
I like
right?
too, like he smokes this and he's like, shit, this is good. This ain't mine.
Yeah.
Waffen Sater said you saying the pronouns was powerful and brave.
Thanks.
Oh wait, Elwood had some stuff to say, right?
He did. I texted him. I don't know. He might be shitting. He shits a lot whenever I text
that
him.
part though where she's singing though, it's pretty sweet, because like, you know, she invited people out there, and just kind of from the vibe you catch from the way people respond to it, it's like they kind of don't really care about it, but it's something that means a lot to her. And then just like she's the only one doing it there. And they kind of talk about it more when they get on the bus or whatever. Dinah's like, she basically like, she makes fun of her because she paid to do it.
Yeah.
And that's just like an emotional, I don't think they go too deep with it, but it's something where if you really think about it, like that means a lot to her, and she doesn't really have too many people to share that with.
Right.
But that part where Dinah kind of starts shitting on her about it, it's really funny because she just goes to start and she's like, okay, from the perspective I'm coming from, I know a lot of people in the music industry. I myself am a singer.
Dude, Dinah was funny as fuck.
Yeah.
She stole the show in a few scenes.
Oh, yeah.
She was great. Like, at first she's just like, I was just some bitch. You know, like, fuck her. But it's like, she grows on you a little bit.
She's funny.
Yeah, she's funny.
She's interesting.
She's got some good lines.
Cindy asks, how many times did he fuck you? And he's just like, don't answer that.
Yeah. And she says like a good amount, right?
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, what'd you guys think of the betrayal between Cindy and Alexandria? Betrayal.
Like the twist.
The twist.
Yeah. The whole movie's like grounded in that too. Cause like at first she's like, let me tell you some news. And she's like, oh, you're going to dump him. And she's like, what? And he's been cheating on you. And, I rewatched like I said, I rewatched the donut time scene, and some of the parts where like they're talking about dialogue about like her cheating and whatnot. They every now and then they cut to Alexandra and you see her face, and it's kind of like something's up with
the
her.
that whole sequence, like her character in there feels so uncomfortable or out of place, like because everyone else just feels like they say what they feel or what they think, just like it's coming out of them, and it's the first time where we see one of them like reserved.
Yeah, I agree.
But I like that, and I like how it follows and how it ends too. It's like, in a sense, it's a.
Yeah, the way it ends.
I don't know how to
the way it ends is kind of like. It's pretty emotional.
It's the whole friendship thing, but I thought that was pretty resonant though, in terms of like. Sometimes you do hurt people you care about, and not on purpose, but like sometimes it's not even their fault so much as it is yours, and that you don't know how to I don't know, deal with the feelings or thoughts you have about yourself or people.
Yeah,
because like I don't know, what's her name? Not Alexandra, the other one.
Cindy
said something. Or no, it might have been the pimp, or no, it might have been Dina actually. I don't remember who it was, to be honest.
Didi.
But something about just like being jealous and all that, and I don't know. But at the end of the day, for some reason I'm starting to lose my thoughts. I'm gonna get a refill real quick.
You're good.
When she gives her like her,
it's that Big Buddha Farms.
Yeah.
When he gives her,
Powerful and brave.
when Cindy, or when Alexandra gives Cindy the wig, that's like a cool scene, like just reflecting on kind of like their identity though.
Yeah.
You know, because that's something that means a lot to them, and then to probably like not have like, I guess, a big piece of what makes them like that, they have to feel like pretty shitty. And it's cool that she gives that up for her friend.
Right.
You know? And I like that.
It was overall I like their friendship a lot too. You know, I like seeing everybody's like interaction in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, seeing everybody interact in the movie was very entertaining. Like even the cab driver, like he used to deal with like people puking and shit, and then like
that would suck.
The one prostitute he got, and
he has that one guy whose name was like he was like an Indian dude. He had an Indian name or something. Old dude, right at the beginning.
Fuck.
He says something
I can barely remember it.
He wishes that his name wasn't like Porta Potty or something.
Oh yeah. I remember that. That's funny.
That Donut Time place is a real place too.
Is it really? Yeah, I bet.
That corner's like known for being like kind of like an unofficial like transgender red light
That
district.
makes sense. Yeah.
They were saying something about that, right? Or the Armenian guy was like, "This corner's not for you. You get out of here."
I like seeing the other transgender prostitutes.
That was cool.
I like
Yeah.
I like when the one is like, I need a burger and
I
some
need some
fries.
fries.
Yeah.
It still puts up the hand.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, give me more.
And then he's like, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah. Overall though, it was like stupid solid movie.
How's this Is this like a companion piece to something like Paris is Burning?
That's what I was gonna say. If you liked this and you like seeing this world, you have to check out Paris is Burning.
Damn.
Sorry,
I'll
I keep saying it.
check it out.
I didn't mean to be so urgent, but
You're good. You're good.
that's a great film.
Have you
too.
seen any other transgender movies?
I haven't seen it in a while, and I don't think it's necessarily a transgender movie, but Party Monster, the one with Macaulay Culkin. At least it was always playing on Logo, which was like the LGBTQ channel. Which
Okay.
for some reason I used to watch on occasion. But, there's this Brian De Palma movie called Dress to Kill, and I won't give away too much, but I don't think it necessarily fits. It's not exploring the same things, but it has similar stuff. But you guys got to check it. If you guys haven't, I don't know if you guys are Brian De Palma fans, but
I want to be a Brian De Palma fan.
yeah, it seems like cool people are.
Okay.
But
Oh yeah, you know how he has that movie Blowout?
yeah,
Have you seen Blowout?
I haven't seen. Blowout
Okay.
yet.
Quentin Tarantino says that's like one of his favorite movies, but it's supposed to be about like the main idea is like a guy catches someone, like a sound recordist catches like a murder taking place. There's a movie called Blow Up, which is basically about like a photographer catching a murder
Really?
take place. That has to be like, that can't just be a coincidence. I'm feeling. I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up.
Those both remind me also of The Conversation, which is essentially the same thing.
That might just be its like own genre of movie or story. Have you seen Dallas Buyers Club?
Yes.
Jared Leto.
I was gonna say White Girls.
White girl.
Damn.
Or white chicks, you mean?
White chicks. Yeah, white chicks.
White girls.
White girls. White chicks. Same thing.
What else is there?
There was that Instagram post I think I sent you guys, but there's a part in there where Jared Leto's like looking in the mirror, saying like, "I wish I was pretty."
Yeah.
Oh, that part. Oh, that's rough.
Oh.
I want to see Dallas Buyers Club again. I like that movie.
Yeah, that movie's good. What would you guys rate Tangerine?
Trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to.
Yeah, let me think. Oh, I did kind of like how Cindy was considered like the top prostitute.
Yeah.
Like people would always like talk about her like she was just like,
Or
like, oh, I want to see Cindy.
the Armenian guy.
Or Cindy's back on the block.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
Or I like too when he finds out like she's like engaged. He's like, you retired? I didn't even know.
Yeah, that was funny.
Retiring.
What else? Oh, what do you guys have any thoughts or anything about like the whole Armenian subplot and all that?
I don't know much about Armenian people.
Or because like it
okay.
seemed.
Stop talking. I'm kidding. There's no slurs.
What are the Armenian slurs?
I mean, I think I might know one, but I can't say it.
But I don't know. To me, it seemed at least like a cool like thematic extension of like a truth sort of thing, and like live your truth or whatever. Because like there's one part, it's like imagine if you, the other cab driver that takes the mother-in-law, and they're not necessarily talking about like his like sexuality, but just like him in general. Like imagine if he was in Armenia, and I think it brings. To me, the movie didn't even just like it didn't make me think about L.A., but
me neither.
It felt more like a U.S. sort of thing. Like you know, some of the shit that happens here, it seems like it only happens here.
Yeah.
And not to say that crazy shit doesn't happen in other places, but this type of crazy, like ending up in a donut shop, and I don't know.
It's like super consumer.
This is a crazy like definitive to like our country, whereas other countries might have like
they have their own
crazy.
tangerines, I guess.
Their own tangerines.
But
that's a good way to put it.
What was it? I guess what was interesting about that was that it showed, I guess, because if you think of it like that, and like the market for transgender prostitution, this is one example of a customer, right?
Yeah.
Which when you guys are talking about like showing the other prostitutes and shit like that, it like the movie does a really good job, to me at least, of fleshing out the world in a way that doesn't feel like it's stopping the movie, which sometimes
I agree. Yeah,
movies do.
It feels like the pacing is like it keeps up. It all keeps up. The world building is like seamless.
The only part,
it'd be cool to read the script for this too, because there's
the script would be it'd be hard to write the script. It'd be hard to write the dialogue.
Be very specific. You have
you
kind of have to know your actors.
You have to understand the way those type of people talk.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the main actors improvised?
He said definitely. I think so. I think a lot of stuff.
I think so too.
Because that sometimes the parts did feel like this is like the 30th, or not even 30th, but like the 10th take or whatever. Like, all right, let's just like improvise a little and do some shit. Not in a bad way, but like it felt like that sort of like spontaneity to the scene.
They talk really like quickly.
Quickly, and like
it's.
I mean, I hate to say. I mean, no, I can't. I don't know. I like the way they talk though.
It's kind of like
entertaining.
I don't know if suave is the right word, but like there's they're really good like people. There's like a
wit to it.
There's the good swagger and charisma to the way the characters interact with each other in the world.
There's like an interesting wit to like everything they say. Like
they're very witty.
Everything they say is like really like slang witty. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Like they always have like shit to dish out, like dish back. Like they're always dishing shit out.
Yeah.
It's like
they're really good at comebacks and stuff like that.
Non-stop dishing shit.
It's and really that's cool. Just like kind of like an effect from living in that type of environment. You're that type of person.
Yeah.
So glad I recommended it.
Yeah, I'm glad I watched it.
Tangerine was an orange.
Tangerine. All right, what would you rate this orange?
Where do oranges come from?
Trees.
No, like what state?
Nebraska.
Florida.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's the orange state, right?
Yeah.
Wow. I had no fucking idea.
It'd get a Florida.
You give it a Florida?
I'd give it a Florida.
Florida out of the U.S.
If I was doing it on that scale, I'd probably give it a Georgia or like a Louisiana out of the U.S.
Okay, gotcha. I can't tell if that's good or not.
I'd give it like an 8 out of 10.
You're like, yeah, I got you.
8 out of 10. Yeah, I'd give it like an 8.5 out of 10. Maybe like an 8.5.
It's almost like I want to rewatch it again for like
all these movies are pretty solid. For
the entertainment.
A solid.
These are like all like
line.
pretty equal.
I'd want to watch it again.
How would you
for,
rank
like,
them?
That's fucking tough.
I'd do Under the Silver. Well,
that's
for
hard.
entertainment, I did find Tangerine more entertaining, but I feel Under the Silver Lake is more of a.
I feel like I got like a unique thing from each of these movies. Like Under the Silver Lake was just very engaging and puzzle solving, and also just like unique in how they show LA and like hipsters and stuff, and it's like conspiracy theory shit.
Under the Silver Lake is just like smarter. Not to say
I
that.
can say no. You mean like
you know what I mean.
More time, like more quality put into it.
It's supposed to be like you're supposed to be thinking about the movie after you see it, based on like trying to figure things out. Whereas Tangerine, it's more of like experiential.
Yeah,
you know.
I'd probably go Pinocchio, Under the Silver Lake, and then Tangerine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I don't know how to rank
Pinocchio first, nice.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not even like a race. It's more of like a, when like people jump and you land at different, everyone lands at a different point. It's like that, where it's not even like they're against each other. It's just that's how they ended up landing.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd rank them.
Definitely a good
like
pick.
Pinnochio,
episode.
I think is definitely something like I feel like I'm gonna take from it. You know, like you said, it's just like the techniques there are pretty unique.
It's more inspirational.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd rank these. I really enjoyed them all pretty like equally in their own way, like genuinely.
They were all kind of all like
they're all like they're just solid. All of them were solid.
Yeah.
And Pinnochio, I think, had more stuff in it that like didn't work for me, but it like won me over with stuff that worked super well. So yeah, I don't know, it was pretty equal across the board for me. Even though I ranked them differently, they felt equal.
It was kind of like avant-garde, then like mindfuck movie,
Yeah,
and then like culture movie kind of.
yeah. All right. So recommendations. You guys want to get to recommendations?
All right. Yeah.
I got
Let's
it.
do. You want to do Joseph's first?
Oh,
or?
so
Okay.
to all our film fans out there, we're gonna have another film fan on the podcast next week. His name is Joseph C. Hyde, writer, director, connoisseur, and Instagrammer.
Soon to be actor. Yeah. I hope.
And yeah, he's got a pick for us.
All right, let's hear it.
I'll just read you his text.
Fuck it. Yeah, let's hear it.
Hi, Anthony. My recommendation is Mommy. It's a French-Canadian film.
Xavier
Shit.
Dolan.
Yeah.
I've seen that
From
movie.
Wow.
2014. I watched it during lockdown
fuck.
last year. This is actually one of the films I wanted to revisit, and I think it would be a good discussion.
Tight.
It's a good movie.
So
It's a good
yeah.
movie.
And I it's been on my watch list ever since I've heard of Xavier Dolan, because for some reason I like to see what young filmmakers are doing.
Yeah.
He made Mommy when he was like 23,
Yeah.
24. So
Damn.
that's close to
He's
us.
made
Yeah,
he's made
pretty
several
close.
features. Mommy's the one that's like gotten
That's the
a
one that
lot
everyone
of
talks about.
Yeah.
Mommy's cool. There's really good fucking soundtrack too. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be
Alright.
good. All right.
So for the order, Elijah, you went last time, so
I'll
you go first.
Okay, I know what I want.
All right, let's hear it.
So coming into this, I was thinking, okay, let's do like a classic or something.
Yeah.
A classic we haven't seen that we need to
Talk about.
we need like.
What is it?
So there's that one, but then we were talking about body horror,
Oh shit.
and it made me think about this one movie that I saw maybe when I was in high school, and you almost recommended it one time. I don't know if you've seen it or not. You almost did. And I thought about it. And it's definitely like a screen tongue movie.
Oh.
But I think it could be really fucking fun.
What is it?
Naked Lunch.
Oh!
So the other one was
I'm really looking forward to it.
the other one would have been A Man Escaped.
A Man
Oh
Escaped.
fuck.
So
Robert Bresson.
do we have any? I'm cool with either.
Hey, no, it's your pick, man.
Yeah, your pick,
Ah.
dude.
Ah.
Elijah's pick, not Norby and Anthony.
I know,
Elijah's pick.
but I really want to see.
I got you.
I really feel like I want to see Naked Lunch more, but we also need to see like A Man Escaped. People say so many good things about it.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like we need to do classics, or not need to, but like I'd like to do
We should do an episode for it maybe.
Yeah.
I really want to see Naked Lunch again though, so I'm gonna go with that. David Cronenberg. Have you seen it? Oh, nice.
Fuck
Okay.
yeah. All right, Anthony. You got a movie?
Damn.
I think I know what I'm gonna do.
It's body horror, but it's it's a
Looks
great
cool-
it's a
looks cool
great
as fuck.
movie to talk about too.
Yeah.
Like it's based on the book by William S. Burroughs, and if you get a chance, read a little bit about him.
Wapiti recommended Paul Blart Mall Cop, Absolute Kino. I think he meant Absolute King.
Kino.
Absolute Kino.
First, let me see if I can find this movie for us to.
Let me check
watch
mine. I think
somewhere.
mine might be hard to find too, but maybe not. Where the fuck is the green check? There it is. Please be on Amazon Prime. Please be on Amazon Prime. Please be on Amazon Prime.
Oh shit! I think at least one of them. I'm thinking.
Oh,
of-
cool! It's totally on Amazon.
Yeah.
Prime.
I would kind of like to watch
Yeah, nice.
Naked Lunch with you guys.
Yeah,
See
let's
your
do it.
reaction.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'll try to get the DVD somehow.
Oh.
I think it's in the Criterion Collection.
All right, my movie is available.
Mine too. But I want to make sure that that's gonna be my. Sorry, I'm
You're all
slow.
good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. We have this new thing we do where we say thank you instead of sorry. It is kind of better to say thank you instead of sorry.
Yeah, it's a positive connotation.
Yeah, because it's almost like thank you for bearing through my mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just like saying like, oh.
Sorry I exist, but until like
thank you for bearing with me.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Oh shit! Now I got.
I know the feeling. Anthony. I had it. I'm glad I went with Tangerine instead of Blazing Saddles.
Me too. Fucking me too, dude. Like hardcore, me too.
It would have been coul.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we've really talked about a movie like that.
No.
But Tangerine was a little better quality.
I think I've already seen Blazing Saddles. I'm glad I watched Tangerine.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys haven't seen Naked Lunch.
I'm gonna do this movie just because I just want to give you guys thank you movies.
Fuck yeah. Let's what is it?
It's a 2003 Korean classic. It's called Save the Green Planet. And I've talked about it so much.
Yes, you have.
But
it's like coming full circle.
It's gonna be worth it.
Okay.
I've been wanting to check that one out.
Do you want to watch that one together too?
That one's
on
we
the
have to
criteria.
we have to
We'll
watch that one
we'll
together.
Okay.
That's good because I'm recommending more of like a you can watch by yourself movie.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
And it's short. It's called The Plague Dogs.
Oh, animated.
Yeah.
Animated.
By the dude who did
Wizard?
Watership Down.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So,
I really like Watership Down, and I've been wanting to see The Plague Dogs for a while. It looks like a real tearjerker.
So.
I've heard intense things about it.
It looks like a really disturbing movie. And I've been really want to watch it for a while.
Okay, so we got Mommy by Xavier Dolan, Naked Lunch, David Cronenberg, Save the Green Planet by...
I'm looking up his name right now.
And then The Plague Dogs by Martin Rosen. Oh, John Hurt's in it. Whoa. The log line is intense.
What's the log line?
2 dogs escape from a laboratory and are hunted as possible carriers of the bubonic plague.
Yeah. The
Plague
Plague Dogs.
But Save the Green Planet from Jun Hwan Jang.
Tight.
We need to watch Watership Down sometime too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got me dude. Thank you so much for the.
Oh, no
criterion,
worries.
Dude,
No
that was
worries.
so fucking cool of you.
Let me know when.
I don't know what you guys would think about it. I haven't seen it since I was like 16. I really loved it back then, but it'll be fun. It'll be cool to see it again. All right, so I think that's it, right?
Naked Lunch. Yep.
All right, so Mommy, Naked Lunch, Save the Green Planet, and The Plague Dogs. Those seem pretty.
This is gonna be an interesting.
It'll be fun.
I really like the recommendation part of this.
Yeah,
the recommendation is really fun too.
It's
and
like
then just
literally my favorite part.
we kind of got like a melt. We always kind of get like a melting pot. I feel.
Yeah,
You know,
which is good. I think it's good, in my opinion.
like animated, Korean sci-fi,
Foreign, yeah.
awesome.
Oh, do you guys for 19? Do you guys want to do the trilogy one before we get to 20, or do you guys want to do the trilogy one? Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it sometime else. It's going to be a bit of a discussion, but yeah, I think that's.
And then shoot for 2 Sundays from now, and then that'll be the. Will that be the first Sunday before school?
I think.
Oh yeah,
so,
it will be actually.
Yeah, that's good timing.
Okay. Do we still want to try and? Oh shit. No, because doesn't school start on the 30th?
No, it's the 23rd.
Oh fuck. I thought it started on the 30th.
No, it's just the 23rd, dude.
Okay.
Starts in like a week and a half.
Okay. Do you guys still want to try and do though every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
As long as if we have to like adjust the schedule every now and then.
I think we'll be good.
Usually not usually, but every now and then I get scheduled to close on Sundays. But I'm still cool with doing it like around like 9:30
Cool.
if you guys want.
Yeah.
All right.
But if another time works, just we'll communicate with each other.
Tight.
So
All right, cool.
that was a really fun episode.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. That was a great discussion.
Thanks, guys, and thank you, film fans.
Dude,
How many
have
viewers we had?
4 right now.
4, but
We
6.
average like 4, 3. We had 6 at the most, but that was like the most. This is like a screen tongue record.
Shout
right
out
now.
to everyone. Yeah, it's a party.
Thanks for having fun with us.
All right. So yeah. Hope you guys have a good night. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys later. Later, skaters. Later, Waffen Theater. You have a good one, man.
What time?
Thanks for tuning in.
How long was it?
It was. 1959.
This is bad country.